Oh, yeah. Do you put the link somewhere so I can shoot it out on? I can shoot that out on Twitter. I did mention some people, but problem is pretty much everybody that follows me is in getting on a plane. Well, no, they're at Skankfest right now on a 3-day bender. Getting on a plane. Well, no, they're in. I got it. Go. Thank you. Ed, do you have a Twitter that you have public?
I do. I'll get it for you.
It sucks we even have to ask that nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, if people have to keep so many secrets.
That's right. So, hey, all of us are here. It is Sunday, November 16th, 2025. This is, oh gosh, Ed, episode 15 already?
15?
15, yeah. Ed's always my double checker, Dave, so I say something ridiculous and it's like either backs me up or is like, well, wait a minute. Like, but we got somebody special with me today, with us today. Don't want to leave that out. Dave Wright, the thinker himself. Actually, there we go. All right, we're both pointing at you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. You know, I mean, oh gosh, for coming up clutch and just joining us on a Sunday. And I know it's your day off, but man, I appreciate it. It's great.
Yeah, I find myself working 7 days a week if I don't just tell myself to take a day off. So I just try to only schedule stuff on Sundays that I want to do. So I do want to be here. I would have told you to pound sand, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't ignoring you guys. Because of Skankfest, you guys just kept getting pushed down in my DMs, and then I would catch up. Mm-hmm. And during the week, a lot of times I take Twitter off my phone, so I just don't deal. So I don't. Not on social
that's smart,
all day.
actually.
I can't control myself, so I don't fight it. I just delete it from my phone so that, and I'll pick it up and be like, oh, wait, it's not on my phone.
I wish we could
do that 50 times a day, but it's still better than doom scrolling 50 times a day.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
Anywho,
such distraction.
Dave, you should introduce yourself for the uninitiated real quick. I know a lot of people that'll tune in, especially on the VOD, will know who you are, but just for let's just say for Rick's sake, because Rick pops on a lot and Rick says hello. So introduce yourself for the rest of the room. Yeah.
Oh, do we have a live chat going?
We do have a live chat. Yeah,
we do.
How do I find that? I'll have to figure that out.
Go to that YouTube link and I guess you can mute the output. Then that way you can watch the chat.
Yeah, you just mute the chat.
Oh,
you mute the tab and then you're good.
Smart. So if there's an echo for a second, I apologize.
No worries.
It's okay. Echo. We've
I like this
so many echoes on this stream.
So I come from a very relaxed Dalton Pruitt. I do a show every Saturday night live with Dalton Pruitt called Cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. We go from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 2, 3 a.m. Sometimes we did 5 hours last night with Ray Comp. Everybody should check that out. I'm rebooting a philosophy show, I guess you would call it. But I I've been dragging my feet for so long in the philosophy show that I forgot more than I could ever put back on there, because I would have these big, huge proofs that I'd be working on, and then drag my feet, not put the show up because I was being perfectionist. So that is getting rebooted. I swear it is. I know I get the DMs every day. I'll give you guys my LinkedIn, and then you guys can find me on all the social medias. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute. So yeah. So thanks for having me. I just came for the hang. I love meeting new creators or whatever. So figured out what this was. Yeah.
So
Appreciate it.
a little bit of background on myself, because we met through Sweeze. So shout out Sweeze, shout out Sumo Dog.
America's sweetheart.
That's it. I'm out.
Not according to Ed, because all right. We got funny stories about Sweeze. So like we were getting Sweeze on board. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I Sweeze. I'm 50. I know I say this 100 times an episode on Cornfed. I had multiple crash outs in my life and grew through multiple changes. And I was like drinking in my 20s, partying in my 20s, getting in fights with women, getting in fights with men. I'm so lucky that I did not have social media or a way for the internet to record it,
right?
Or for people to screenshot stuff. So, I mean, everybody goes through parts of life, and I mean, he's just authentic. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and not everybody. So you get the good heart and you get the bad heart, but I think he's finally leaning into America's sweetheart with Sumo Dog.
With Sumo Dog.
Tyler likes to kind of egg me on about it. What it is we all liked our sleep at night, so we'd be getting these rant texts going all the way from midnight till 5, 6, 7 in the morning. We're sitting there going, "You've got to stop this." Kept going, so I thought I blocked him on that. But it's funny you said what you said during our conversation, because the first time I met him, he decided to make a joke about me and something about early morning urination. I said, no. I don't even know you. Quit talking about my bodily function. So really what we were kind of talking about, I had to laugh. I was like, why is everybody so worried about me in my bathroom?
I always am. So one thing that's cool about the internet, or weird, is like it's kind of like it never sleeps. Mm-hmm. So if you, I struggle with this sometimes, having like first person or whatever it's called, main character syndrome sometimes.
Yeah.
Where you message somebody, and I'm usually pretty good. You message them and you're like, whenever they get back to me, because I don't know if they're sleeping, they're at work, maybe they're doing a 12-hour long haul as a truck driver. Who knows what people are like actually doing in their real lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I'm on the East Coast and I get up extremely early, and it'll be like 5 or 6 a.m. and I'll get a DM from Sweeze, and I'll, him and me be going back and forth and just talking about a podcast I should watch during the day or vice versa. And we talk a lot of comedy, and he's been up all night.
Yeah.
And so, but he's not the only one. Like I got other buddies that are like writers and stuff that are in Arizona or whatever. Shout out to Troy at the Primitive State Podcast. He's another one. Like, it'll be 7 a.m. and he'll be talking to him, and he's like, all right, I got to get some sleep. And he's up all night and going to bed when I'm getting up for work.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then I have a friend in Kenya that's the same thing, but it's actually should be that way.
Yeah.
Because we live on different sides of the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll get a kick out of this, Dave. So like Sweeze like calls me. Like, I think it sounds like he was in the middle of Skankfest, which happened this weekend.
Hell yeah.
And
shout out Skankfest and Sweeze.
But the problem is like I'm covering a college football game, and it's loud inside the stadium. Once you're down on the field, it's really loud. And so it's like noise versus noise fighting each other for supremacy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Sweeze, I can't hear you. Hello? Like, and then I don't know. I guess he tried talking to me. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, I can't hear you. I got stadium sound. Yeah, so like
back to the text.
Either that or he butt dialed me, one of the two. So
yeah, without doxing you or whatever, you do announcing for college sports.
So and it's fine. I mean, it's common knowledge.
We can talk about it off here. My sister works within the. I can't say too much because
Sure.
her and me don't get along. Two, she's super straight laced and I'm super what I am. Mm-hmm. But she works within the Texas football organization.
Oh.
College organizations is in sales.
Okay.
So I was going to say, I wonder if you know her, but I'm not about to dox my sister.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my fans aren't even fans. Whatever the opposite. They are fanatical. I will say that. They just, it's usually implied some sort of love.
Right.
We have more of a
hate.
Yeah. We have more of a, hate. You remember when Howard Stern had their polls for Howard Stern? They said the number one reason I hate Howard Stern, but the number one reason I turn in and see what he'll say next.
Oh yeah.
And then they say, but the number one tuners were like, yeah, they either loved him or hated him. And he had more fans that hated him, and both of them tuned in to say what he would say next.
Oh yeah.
And I never understood that. And I'm not obvious. I guess I am comparing myself to Stern, but I didn't mean it like that. I'm that good. I just mean I never understood tuning into stuff for hating people.
Yeah.
But people tune into our podcast. They say they love Dalton. He's like this. Same reason they love Sweeze. He's just like this lovable, like who knows what he's gonna do next character in the world or whatever.
Right.
And then I get on there and talk politics, and they're like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up and let Dalton and Ray Kump talk. You're the worst."
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. So I don't like. I didn't realize that. Well, it doesn't really bother me because they keep tuning in every week and the show's growing.
Yeah.
So I don't take it seriously. But it is just, it is funny to experience. So anyways, the point of it is I do talk to Sweeze about that sometimes. And I'm like, the currency is just attention. So like you could parlay even the negative attention that you get sometimes into more views, a show, cameos. Like you could probably monetize it if you just don't take it personally.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is the hardest part. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the toughest part. And that so anywho, let me backtrack real quick. So like
sorry.
I write and usually take photos. I usually write and take photos for like college football, mostly D2. Because we have a D2 university just like a few minutes south of me. So there's that. And then I'll write, and then I write for a few places, mostly like a sports news website. They mostly center on high school. They'll dabble in college. They'll do some pros, but I mean, high school's king out here. I mean, it's high school football, and really, I mean, maybe a little bit of volleyball if it's like really good, but mostly just championships or whatever. But yeah, but I used to, I was 10 years in journalism, and then when I got out of West Texas A&M, and that's the school I mostly covered, mostly covering now. And then, so I went from there, I went up to Iowa, and then I was there for 6 months. It was just absolutely atrocious. It was like the worst 6 months because I dealt with this owner that was like, he was almost like the Tasmanian devil in real life. Like he would walk around and like there was a tornado that would follow him, or he was basically the center of a storm, and everything else will like fly around him or whatever. And I needed to get away from that. So I went back to the Texas Panhandle. I worked there for a few years. Then I went back to Iowa, and I was the editor of a small town newspaper. And Eileen's like, the people that were before me, they leaned towards the left, where I'm moderate right. So I was like, okay, all right, well, you know.
And now you're a complete Nazi in today's culture.
I
just
know,
being
my
moderate,
gosh.
right?
I know it's ridiculous. But the crazy thing is, though, is I can talk to both liberals and conservatives and paint them more people. Like, because I've interviewed politicians like Chuck Grassley and Joni Ernst and all these people, and I'm like, okay, all right, what's something about you nobody would know just by looking at you? And I got Chuck Grassley going one time. He doesn't like the current format of the History Channel. So like when
He doesn't like the history of aliens.
he doesn't like ancient aliens, he hates it. Hates it. He was, and one of my questions was like, how are you relatable? Because you're like 90 years old, dude. You're like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But he's a titan in Washington because he's on the Judiciary Committee, whatever. And he's still sharp as a tack. And I was like, how are you relating to kids these days? And he was like, well, you know, I got my hashtag corn, like it was Corn Watch or whatever, because he's a big farmer.
Oh,
When he's not making buku dollars in Washington. He got going on the History Channel. Like, he hates ancient aliens. And so and then he's an old man. So he gets up like, well, I'm not okay, all right. Dave, don't take this the wrong way. I mean, he gets up early.
Yeah.
You know, even during hours where God's not even awake.
No, when you start getting older, I don't know what it is, because my father used to do it, and I was like, well, you're an idiot, sleep in. Like, you don't even need to get up. You're up 3 hours before the airport. And then you wake up one day and I'm up 3 hours before the airport and like getting organized. So
yeah,
it's going to happen. It's going to creep up to you guys. You're going to start getting up earlier and earlier.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm starting to wake up earlier and earlier too, because I do other stuff during the week. And I won't release that much because it would be doxing at that point. Because the people like I have to kind of watch over, they're really smart. Like, they're smarter than what they seem. And
so he does a podcast called Corn Watch.
No, he does like stuff through X or Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so he has like a hashtag, and then he'll get up super early and he'll watch World War II documentaries, and he'll do hashtag Real History Channel.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I'm waiting for this to happen, and it's got to happen, or maybe it's just a thing. So like, you know, like as you get older, they say like guys start getting into like history.
Yes.
Like I forget what the two paths are. Like you become somebody who grills, or you get into grilling, golf, or the History Channel, or like World War II history. And none of those have hit me. I did do grilling for a while, but I mean, I guess I do get into history now that I think about it. But like every time I find something new about history and I want to like post it somewhere, it's like, oh, this is hate speech. You're like, oh,
What?
okay.
Oh,
well, I mean, there's a very straight lined history that you're supposed to follow. And once you start discovering like when you start looking at different avenues of like different events, even like Christopher Columbus or like the Native Americans or whatever, you were told like one chapter in a history book, and everybody whatever, and it was written by whatever side they wanted to show as the good guys. Mm-hmm. And life's very gray; it's not black and white. Right. So when you start going in there and being like, "Oh, did you know that like this also happened during this time, and this was going on here," and then you put that up, and they're like, "No, that's not part of what we're teaching." And I'm not even talking about the big one. If anybody thinks I'm talking about the big one, I'm not talking about the big dot. I'm just talking about like little history events.
Right.
So I do
Ed can attest to that
now
too.
I think about it. Yeah, I do kind of like history. Well, we were talking before the show, a little curtain pull for the audience here about diet. And even the history of like the American diet, if you look into that, it was lobbyists that got the food pyramid put in. It had nothing to do with health, doctors, research, or whatever. It had to do with the companies that were selling those products to the consumers that paid the most got their food on the top. Yeah. And whoever paid the least was their food on the bottom. So we were eating like a ton of grains and stuff like that back in the day, just because the wheat and grain companies were the ones that they wanted to sell to the American people. It had nothing to do with health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's a topic like that. So if you look up the actual history of how the food pyramid was made, and the bills that were passed and the lobbyists and the money that was exchanged, and you start like talking about this with people, they're like, what are you, some sort of conspiracy theorist? And you're like, well, you can just look at the evidence.
You're educated. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Face that a lot.
So this guy, he works, older guy, and he's just super into the History Channel and Cornfed, and he's Cornfed every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. There's your plug. There's your plug.
He's Corn Watch. So what is Corn Watch though? Like he watches all the corn-fed boys that are in athletics. What is he watching exactly?
So I think Corn Watch is just an update on like how like the corn crop is going. Like either the market's going up or going down.
Corn crops.
It's actually corn crops. Yeah, he's not talking about corn-fed kids out of Iowa.
No,
although they're built different, like kids out of West Bend, Iowa.
So my father was 6'3" at his tallest. As he got older, he shrank a little bit, but he was 6'3", probably 250, 245. I'm just under 6 feet, probably 205. I'm the runt of my family. My sister's taller and bigger than me. She played college basketball. Oh. My father was the runt of his family. His older brother is bigger than him. His older brother's daughters are bigger than me and my father.
Wow.
And they were all in Iowa. They all lived in Iowa, like originally. So he was a milk farmer, a dairy farmer in Iowa. And when I did my cross-country trip, 2022, I went from New Hampshire and saw the country to Vegas for the Skankfest. Vegas. I had never visited Iowa. My father didn't even get the chance to visit his mother's grave. And I went to visit my grandmother and my grandfather's grave in like the family or whatever. And it was really surreal. Like it changed me. I went there. I met like a guy in Iowa that went, like an old guy who went into the books with me. He actually found the plots and we plotted them out. He walked me out there. And it was like something out of an independent movie.
Yeah.
Where you just like, it was just very quiet. And he's like, yeah, right this way, Mr. Wright. Okay, I'll take you out there and take a look at the graves with you. They ain't never had flowers on these graves. And he's like, you know what I mean? And then he's like, I'll let you be with your thoughts, sir. And like, go back to the thing. And I'm just out there and like looking at these things, and it's intergenerational. It was very moving. And then I got to see like, oh, this is not quite how my dad grew up, because this is, 45, 50 years later. But it is interesting to see how somebody is shaped based on like where their formative years took place. And then to see somebody who's, the graveyard guy like that. My father moves to New England, where it's like, let's go, give me a fucking coffee, get out of my way, brother.
I need a fucking coffee.
Yeah, let's go on a Dunkin's, get out of my way, I'm trying to get a Dunkin's. Yeah.
Nice.
It's very relaxed in Iowa. It's a lot more relaxed, especially when you get out in the rural areas. And then like there, the small town I worked in for about 3-4 years. Had a kind of a cultural center that used to be an old school. Like it used to be the high school, and two-story building, really pretty. The gentleman that worked there, like he would work there in the mornings, and like if you came in at the right time and said, hey, I'm just looking through the archives, or I'm looking for something specific, he'll go through those things with you, or he'll help you find things. And shout out Dwight Morenz. He doesn't watch the channel because but yeah, he's such a great guy. And then he got to go on some honor flights, and he was a neat guy, very neat guy. I love those guys at those old little small town museums, because they'll take time with you, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was one thing that it taught me was like patience when I was out there, because I'm moving quickly through my car, like from stop to stop on a time limit. I gave myself like 30 days to get from New Hampshire to Vegas and stop along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I can stop in each area, but I'm on a time limit. But when I get there, I still want to like experience it and like try to settle in. So you like go, drive 3 hours, get there, and then try to decompress. And like I said, when we were here, you're like this, when I was there, it was cool for me to learn patience by, you walk in, you're like, hey, sir, how's it going? He's like, good. How's your morning going? And like, but he really means it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now you have to, like in New England, you're just doing pleasantries a lot of times, where it's like talking to like the shopkeeper in like your Skyrim or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm saying this, so you say that, so you say this, but they actually want to have a talk. And so you have, like for me, I had to settle in and be like, hey, this is a human being. He's treating you as a human. Don't rush to where the grave's at. And so when I kind of like sat with them and just like however long this takes, I actually had really good experiences with a lot of people out in the Midwest, like being present with them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they were very welcoming.
Yeah, very welcoming, very authentic, but very sophisticated. Like, believe it or not, like,
yeah.
I mean, you know, people high culture. And I was like, I knew people like in Iowa that knew of like very niche things, even though they never really interacted with them before. So like, let's say Skankfest, for instance. Yeah. Or even like if you really want to go really nerdy,
the sophisticated knowledge of Skankfest.
Yes, they would be like, oh yeah, about this, and this, and this, and it's like, whoa, yeah. Like okay, all right, cool, like yeah. They're smart in their craft, or they're people of high culture. Yeah. I feel like in Iowa, like when I grew up there, and then I lived there for like the last 5 years before last year when I moved out to Rapid City, which was very, very interesting town in itself. The Black Hills, really pretty. Rapid
is that Cedar Rapids? Or is this Rapids?
This is Rapid City, so South Dakota. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but during my time in Iowa, like the quality of life, it's such a bang for your buck. So yeah. It's really like they have aquatic centers, they have like playgrounds that are really nice, like the schools are even really nice. Like, I mean, they appear to be lily white, but you have a very diverse community. Like, but they're all like, you know, there's these people that'll, you know, but you'll still see like Trump signs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're still very cordial. They're polite. Just don't want to get them pissed off. That's with anybody, honestly. But yeah, the quality of life there, and then the type of people that come out from like a place like Iowa, or even like a southern Minnesota or a northwest Missouri, even like if you go as far west as like Omaha, or even like Illinois, like that's not Chicago. Like those people are very, very down to earth.
Yeah, I did that. I had never really seen the country prior to 2022. I had been to like Florida on a plane, to Orlando, and then to like visit some friends in Florida, other areas, and I'd seen a lot of New England. But I never really stopped anywhere. Everything else was like flyover. I was born in California, but don't remember much of it. So this trip really just opened my eyes to how beautiful the United States are and how kind the people are when you really like just meet strangers in everyday offline in little places and relax into the setting.
Yes.
That you're there in the moment with them. After that Iowa trip, I went to this place called the Shrine, I think it's called, in Nebraska. It's a big glass church in the middle of a field. And it's got running water under it. So like when you're in the church, it's all glass with like wooden carved beams. So the sun comes into you during mass. And underneath it was these channels of water from a river that you walk up this path. And so the water's running under the pews when you're there. And then it goes into these little falls underneath the altar that's raised up. really great experience if you go. But I drove there the next day after having this like experience with the graves, and so now I'm at church the next day with strangers. But they're a Midwest and I'm a New Englander, I guess. And just sitting there talking to them, back to what you're saying about the sophistication, this guy's explaining to me how the church was built and how the structure of the glass and in the wood and how they got the water to run and how the stones are laid in the pews and how they don't get moisturized and how this whole thing's done. And I was just, not that you're like, oh, I can't believe that somebody from Nebraska is not a dumb hick, but people do think that. Like like especially the coast think that everybody in the middle are idiots because they talk slower or they have a different accent. And then you get there and they're just, like you said, he was just really niched down into understanding architecture from a religious aspect and from a structural aspect of why this was such a great thing. And he just talked to me. He spent like 45 minutes with me, just explaining, walking the grounds with me, introducing me to people. And I'd never been there before in my life. It was just a church that I wanted to go visit. And they welcomed me in. They welcomed me to mass. They welcomed me to eat. They took me around, showed me everything. And they knew I was a traveler too. So like they knew like they was not going to get anything from me. Like I was going to be gone the next day. You know, so it wasn't like, oh, we'll do all this for him and then he'll be in the community and we'll get all this back. They were literally just being selfless with their time and energy. And then the next day was gone. I was like, what an amazing experience with Nebraska.
Yeah.
My first experience. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Highly recommend if you're ever out there.
Yeah. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah. I'm going to look it up right now.
Sure.
Had Drew Huntley jump into the chat. Anybody know that guy?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Drew, what's up? Shout out Sumo Dog.
Shout out Sumo Dog.
Yeah, it's called the Holy Shrine in Nebraska. It's
Holy
Roman
Shrine.
Catholic. I'm Greek Orthodox, but it doesn't matter at this point.
I mean, a pretty church is a pretty church.
Yeah, let me send you. Yeah, you got to see this. Let me put the link in the chat down here for you.
Okay.
Is it a way for you to pull it up on screen?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, I could.
Yep.
I could. So
Yeah, so there you go. There's the Holy Family Shrine.
Okay.
This place is really amazing.
Well, that's pretty.
Okay. All right. We'll go. Let's do share screen real quick. Okay. And then
You guys are gonna love this. Like I said, if you're ever in the area, it was so not overwhelming is a bad
that's
word.
Cool.
It was just like, it was so welcoming. It was an oasis in the middle of nowhere. And so the night before I drove there, right through the night, it was dark. I'm just following this GPS and you get off these main drags. And now I'm just going down this dirt road and there's no speed limit on these dirt roads. It's just that they have like the bumps are grooved into them. So if you go too fast, your car just vibrates so much. And so you have to slow down. So I finally get to this, my lights shine on this gate. It's like closed. It says closed for the night. So I go back out, I pack my car and I black my windows out. I sleep in a Walmart parking lot. I wake up, like shower a little bit. I might have stayed at the Loves and like showered in the morning, put some church clothes on, like being on the road for 30 days, church clothes.
Right.
And then went back in the morning and just had a wonderful time.
Oh
But
my gosh.
If you guys can go to, so for the listeners, it's called the holyfamilyshrine.com. And it's really amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Oh my gosh.
Is
really
this
cool
an
reading
audio?
room.
This is just an audio platform?
I mean, we're live streaming and then we also do Spotify too. So.
Okay. I don't want to hit. Oh wait, I can hit the.
Oh, that's
Okay.
really
Yeah. I can
cool.
see us now online. I had it paused. Okay. Yeah. So for the home viewer, if you go to, I thought you might be able to pull it up and show the viewers, but for the for the home viewers, go to holyfamilyshrine.com and go to the image gallery. And there's just some beautiful, beautiful artwork here.
There we go.
Besides, not just if you said you did photography, you said too.
I do.
Yeah. So even the way that they photographed this is just amazing. The light and the structures and stuff. And then when you start, if you look at some of the trusses and stuff there, that's what the guy was explaining to me about the structural stuff. And it's just like he's talking to me and I'm kind of understanding it. Most is just going over my head. And, you know, this place was, especially like I said, I'm going on my first cross country trip. My father had just passed in 2018 and this is 2022. I'm going back to the state that he was born in for the first time. I'm going to my family's graves and I'm like just contemplating my mortality. And then I go to this church and get completely welcomed in afterwards to kind of like decompress and go through go through the experience, you know, with these people there. Although I did talk to a priest or a deacon that wanted to become a priest.
Oh yeah. And
I think I ruined his day.
Oh no.
So like we're sitting in a thing and you have to like, you're talking to people and they're like, oh, now you shake the person's hand and then you get into a conversation during mass.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did that. And then at the end of mass, they're like, if you like to continue any conversations, continue them. And so because I didn't know anybody there, they sat me with the clergy. And so I'm sitting with this young man who's about to give his entire life and be celibate to the church.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, oh, that's very interesting. I'm Greek Orthodox. Our priests marry and have children and stuff because you're supposed to go forward and be fruitful. And he's like, oh, I never thought about that. And I was like, yeah, I'm just curious. Like, you're not worried about not being able to have kids and being celibate the rest of your life or whatever. And he's like, well, I'm going to marry the church.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I can see it that way. And I was like, yeah, we in the Greek Orthodox Church, like I said, my priest used to come over at family functions and have kids and children and be married. So when he gave advice on children and marriage and stuff, it was something he actually experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How do you guys deal with that in the Catholic Church since you can't get married? And then he just got really quiet and he's like, oh, I have to go through my constitutional. And then he just got up and he went for a walk. And then later on, I just saw him in the field, like alone, like looking into the distance. And I was like, oh no, what did I do to this guy? Yeah.
You asked him a good question, and the only answer he would have for you is hearsay.
Yeah, like I wasn't trying to whatever. And afterwards, afterwards, I thought to myself, like, I felt like some of the people there were giving me a message from God.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my question was a message from God to him, but also like I started to feel bad, but then I was like, well, you're going to go through much harder struggles than my sincere question.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Push you out.
Yeah.
Then you're already doomed.
yeah.
But he said he had bad experience with dating. And because of that, he's like, oh, I just don't work in the dating world. So I think celibacy might be a good choice for me. And, so I was like, okay, good luck. But you are out in the field now staring into space. So
Your question obviously made him ponder his existence.
yeah, I felt a little bit bad. I hope he was out there praying or something.
Yeah.
No, that was a legitimate question. You're sitting there going, well, you're supposed to be able to give families advice and give advice on children. How do you do that? And you were 100% correct. And if anything, it should have made him really think about what he could have said, not, oh, that asshole from,
I didn't get a feeling that he was upset with me. I got a feeling like, when you ever talk to somebody with like different backgrounds or political view, like you did earlier with the explosion of the head.
Yeah.
You just ask a question to somebody and they've sincerely never heard that argument before. And so it opens up another part of their brain and they're like, oh wait, I have to think about this whole other thing now. And so he I gave him the benefit of the doubt and assumed that he was just, oh, I never thought about that, and now he's I need some time alone to contemplate this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I did, and my first instinct was like, oh gee, like
I'm in trouble.
what have I done here? Yeah.
That's just being human. You were being empathetic to him. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So you said you were out in South Dakota. I went to the Badlands there. Did you go to the Badlands when you were up in South Dakota?
I have.
And did you go to I think it was Wall Outpost?
So Wall Drug.
Wall
Drug, in my mind, and I've been to Wall Drug many times.
Wall Drug.
It is the greatest tourist trap ever. It is the greatest tourist trap in the world.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
so can I go ahead?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I talk so much. I was just gonna say,
no,
for
by
me,
all means, you're the star of the show.
Is when I was on this trip, right? They start advertising these signs, Wall Drug, 658,000 miles away. You know?
Yep.
What the fuck is Wall Drugs? 600. Wait, what is this thing? And then as you get closer, like Wall Drugs, 5,253 miles away. And so you're like, okay, and things keep going and going, and then you're like, all right, I got to see what this stupid Wall Drugs thing's all about. So they got me with all the propaganda because you're driving for like a day and a half, and then you're like, I can't just pass by this place now. So then I finally get there, and I was like, oh, this is for ladies. They trick ladies to come here. I fell for a lady trick. All the poor husbands are driving here with their wives and their daughters, and so it's just like it's a fake ghost town. It kind of looks like Galveston, Gettysburg. It was in Tennessee, near the Smoky Mountains, where they have like the fake Old West, like up or whatever.
Okay.
And it's like and so I just drove up there, couldn't find parking, looked at all the places, and like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere. This is like a boardwalk in the middle of nowhere with like trashy food.
Yeah.
And then I did a U-turn, and I'm like, they got me good.
They got me good.
Yeah. So what was your experience with Wall Drug?
I will actually admit I had a more positive experience with Wall Drug because they hooked
Were
me.
you with somebody? Like you with friends or something?
At first, it was with family. So my grandfather used to go out to Wyoming, out to the Bighorn Mountains, and we go horseback riding.
Yeah.
And so on the way, we would stop at Wall Drug, if at least once per trip, you know.
Yeah.
So I always look forward to it. It was just.
Did you start going with your grandfather when you were young?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much when you had a girl brain still.
Yeah.
Damn.
Grandpa, I want to
Kidding.
stop.
I'm kidding. These are jokes, people. We love ladies.
Yeah, we love ladies.
They're
on
so
this
smart
show.
and powerful. What? That's not
I love it. I love it. But no, like we stopped, and it's basically a place to just sell stuff. Like, you know, and you get the free bumper stickers if you buy something there. It's like, where the heck is Wall Drug, or Wall Drug, South Dakota? And what's crazy is I'm a sports guy through and through, and along with Wall Drug, they have a really good football program. I got to know the head coach while I was out there, and they just won a state championship this past weekend. So shout out to the Wall Eagles. Yeah,
I know all the Wall Eagles are listening home right now.
Yeah,
shout out to you guys.
Shout out to you guys for winning your first state title since 2022. But yeah, like along with Wall Drug, it's like a really good football program. They're usually pretty good at other things too.
Yeah.
Mostly the boys. The girls are all right too. I almost fell for that. I almost fell for that. It's like, let's make fun of girls. No, let's not.
Well,
no.
I would say, so, you know, just backtracking a little bit from the wall. I'm a single dude rolling up to this Wall Drug. I was expecting like a privatized Buc-ee's or something.
Right.
Like it might be, or like a Bass Pro Shop mixed with the Buc-ee's, mixed with like horse cowboy stuff, you know, and you get there and it's like, it would be very good if I had family, kids, wife.
It would.
Whatever. I probably wouldn't take the boys there. Like me and the boys probably wouldn't go drinking there. But there's a similar town when you get to, either the beginning or the end of, if you're coming north to south, the end of the Smoky Mountains, you take a right, and I think it's Gettysburg, Tennessee. There's a similar town like that, but that one's got like water park slides, motorcycle rentals, four-wheeler rentals, sports car rentals. So that one's like a similar thing, but you could take the boys there.
Yeah.
Where they have like the old-timey cowboy setup. So I do think in the right spot, like especially if your grandfather's taking you there every year and he's like, let's get some taffy, let's get some ammo, whatever you guys are doing, you're there. Then you're like, oh, this place is great. This is part of history. This is where I've been going. But for me, I was the tourist getting trapped.
Yeah.
When I went. Yeah.
So the interesting history behind Wall Drug, and I mean, I know most guys, we get into history. They were built basically on serving free ice water during the Depression. So when people would drive through the Badlands, they would serve free ice water, and that's how they really blew up to become the tourist trap that they are today. And I know the Houston family, if they saw this, they would dispute it with me left and right. But I was like, look, you guys were built on free ice water, and then you built on other things onto it to bring in the kids and the families, which is all good. Like, I have nothing against that. But and it would be it'd be really cool to and then we would, from Wall, we would move on to Sundance, Wyoming, and then we would eat breakfast and whatever, and then we'd drive another 2 hours to Buffalo. And Buffalo is kind of like, oh gosh, what's that one show? It's like a sheriff show or whatever. And that's kind of the setting where the show takes place. And so it has a really cool little downtown. You can get all your materials. You can get your fishing license for 2 weeks before you go up into the mountains and go horseback riding and fishing and hunting and all that fun stuff. So that was my always my experience. We would do it for 2 weeks in the summer. Yeah. And that was really fun. It was just your grandfather, a handful of horses in nature. And I mean, we keep guns just in case of the mountain lions or the bears, but they never bother people. But
yeah, that's an awesome.
It's really
awesome.
Cool.
It's really cool. So one of my good friends that lives in Utah is 65. He was a pastor for years, but now he's in business again. And I actually met him playing video games through his daughter and her husband, who are younger than me. And I've known him for long enough that now he's a grandfather and his kids are 10 or 11 or whatever. And when I visited him 2 years ago out in Utah, we get the guns, we get on the four-wheelers, we go out into the mountains for the day or whatever. And I've been starting to be, they only see me once a year. So they don't know me very well because they're 11. So it's they haven't seen me since, 1/10 of their life has passed since the last time they saw me or whatever, right? But this just a cool story is we were visiting his daughter, and we were going to go four-wheeling, and I said, to one of the kids, I was like, hey, go tell your mother you're coming with us because we're going to go four-wheeling in the mountains. He's like, no way, man. I was like, yeah. He's like, you and your grandfather will take you four-wheeling with us. He's like, dude, you are the best. Let's go. He's like, Mom, Dave said I can go four-wheeling. So we take the kid going, and we have two four-wheelers. I'm going to be on one, and then he's going to be with his grandfather on the second one. Once we get up in the hills, he tries. Anyways, one of the four-wheelers wouldn't start. And so he's 11-year-old emotions. He's like, oh, we're not going to be able to go. And so his grandfather takes it. And to me, Doug's 65. He's my age. But to him, it's this God. Mm-hmm. That's my grandfather. He grabs it, starts rolling down the hill, and kickstarts the thing and gets things started. And he goes, yes, Grandpa's the best. And throws his fist. He's like, let's go. And my buddy didn't get to see it. So when he comes back, I tell him the story, and it's almost brought him to tears or whatever. So anyways, the point being, you going to Wall Drug with your grandfather is a totally different experience, you know what I mean, than me driving to Wall Drug and turn around because
Right.
my grandfather kicks butt, dude. We're gonna go up in the mountain on horses. We might shoot some guns around. This is gonna be a weekend. Mom can't tell me what to do right now because I'm with Grandpa. You know,
Yeah.
It's gonna be epic.
yeah, it's gonna be epic. Well, it was fun to live. Like feel like a kid. We're ripping through the mountains in the middle of nowhere, 2 hours up on this with these great sights on these 4-wheel. My beard's covered in dust. My goggles are covered. I look like Dr. Robotnik from Sonic. And we give his grandkid we let him drive when we're up there when we knew that like the traffic of like all the other riders had kind of like slowed down because we're too far up. And I ripped down and got the camera and I took video of him driving the thing down with grandfather and kicking up dust. And we stopped to go for a view. And, he's trying to approach an adult and he walks up. He's like, so, Mr. Wright, can I see that video you took of me? And I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, dude, my brothers are going to be so jealous, dude. I'm driving this thing. And I was like, hell yeah, they are.
That's awesome.
So it was fun to see like, they think we're not having as good a time as they are. Little do they know, we just are, our emotions aren't at the same, like, revved up like them. But so. So if we took him to Wall Drug, he would be like, this kicks ass, Dave and Grandpa are the best ever.
I was going to say, with both of you visiting Wall Drug, I'm surprised neither one of you have said the actual catchphrase to the place. Do you guys know what it is?
Yeah, Walt Drug, drive here 5,000 miles.
No, that ain't it.
Where the heck is
Tyler?
Wall Drug?
No.
I would have to look up my photos of the billboards.
Have you dug Wall Drug?
Oh, yeah. Have you dug Wall Drug? Well, I don't know. Well, it hasn't changed since I was a kid. So when I last went out there when I was a kid, like they just expanded it. And so they included like the backyard. They have the animatronic T-Rex in the back and an arcade and like an ice cream parlor. And when I went back to when I moved to Rapid City, so it was within an hour's drive. And, if I wanted to, and on our way back from state track, like I was with this kid from Florida and he was just starting out. Like he was fresh from the University of Florida. And I was like, okay, all right. On our way out, like on our way back, we'll stop at the literal Sioux Falls. We'll stop at the falls and then we'll stop at Wall Drug before we get back. And he was like, okay, this is interesting. I don't know what he took away from all of it, but because for me, I've been to Wall Drug like a million times by then, and I was like, okay, I know where to go. Like you'll never get lost here. Don't worry about it. And it's basically a country western store like on steroids that sells boots and Stetsons and all the like. And you there's a restaurant there you can eat at. And then the other side of the boardwalk, it's not even affiliated with Wall Drug. It's just these other pop-up stores that want to instead of advertising Wall Drug, they're advertising the Badlands. So instead of Wall Drug sweaters or hoodies or whatever, it's like Badlands or whatever. And then the good stuff happens when you get in the Black Hills, because there is a tourist trap town called Keystone, but the really cool towns are like Hill City, Spearfish, and even Custer is really neat. Those are the ones that you have to get off the beaten path for. Everybody knows about Mount Rushmore. Not as many people know about the Crazy Horse Memorial, which I tell people, I was like, that is underrated. Like, go if you have a chance.
I wish I would have known, because I drove. So after I left Wall Drug, basically, I'm like, okay. No, after I left the Badlands, I'm like, I'm going to go to Mount Rushmore. Haven't seen it. It'll be worth just seeing. Mm-hmm. And I got there, it was overcast. So we were all just staring at clouds. You couldn't even see the faces or whatever.
Right.
And so I was like, well, this is the only part of my trip that's gone like downhill, but whatever. If I saw it, I probably would have felt similar. Like there's faces cut into a mountain. But I wish I would have known that there was Crazy Horse, right? Because I could have just got back in my car and been like, okay, I guess I'm going to Crazy Horse instead.
And Crazy Horse is probably about 20 minutes away from Mount Rushmore too, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's not that far at all.
Yeah,
I was there this
it's
summer.
within 15 minutes. And
It's so beautiful. I remember leaving the Badlands to go there. And so when you're in the Badlands, for anybody, for the listeners, it's literally land that's so depleted of nutrients or whatever that it's like looks like bad soil. So you're not seeing many trees, no grass. There is life there. I ran into bison and snakes and prairie dogs and deer, antelope type deer, all sorts of different things. Obviously, I'm big into knowing animal names, I guess. I don't remember all the names.
all right.
But then you leave there to go to the other place, and the trees, you just see these huge tall evergreens, and you're going down these windy roads. And then as soon as you get like a peek past the tops of the trees, it's just mountain views behind them. It's almost like fairy tale, like the drive from the Badlands to there. So the drive was nicer to Mount Rushmore than the actual Mount Rushmore stay was.
Oh, I agree.
It was really gorgeous.
The
out
Black
there.
Hills are awesome. Like being out there for a year, like I was just like, oh my gosh, I was mesmerized. Each and every single time I would just be like, all right, I'm in Rapid. I have a free Sunday. Let's go somewhere. So like I would go up into the Black Hills, and the best time to go for anybody that is like, okay, all right, let's go here, is going to be like October, because that's past like all the that's past all the crowds, that's past everything. It's past tourist season, so it's just kind of the locals. There are some like tourists there, especially around Mount Rushmore, but like most of the time you'll have like Crazy Horse to yourself. You could have Mount Rushmore to yourself. I remember going out to the Battle of Little Bighorn, and Ed knows where that's at. That's up in Montana. And Custer's Last Stand, I had a portion of like the battle, like I went up there in April, and it's still kind of cold, like still a little snow on the ground, but still not bad, like great weather.
Yeah.
The cool part was that I had a big portion of the battlefield to myself for like a full 20 minutes. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a good feeling. Listening to your stories about Wall Drug, I think maybe I should have got out of the car and just walked around and tried to use the same patience that I was using with people, with myself and the experience.
Yeah.
But I was on the road now for like 15 days, sleeping in my car, camping. When I camped in the Badlands, I got zero sleep. So I went out the mile into the Badlands and pitched a tent and slept out there. Could not sleep, could not shut my like fight or flight mechanism off.
Right.
I don't know what it was, like my Wi-Fi connection to God had gotten cut off in the Badlands, and I was like, this is an evil place, like I can't relax, I don't like it, it's scaring me. And then I couldn't go back because it was too dark.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just stuck here for the night until it's light. Now, having said that, when I woke up and I got to watch the sunrise, it was absolutely so amazing. But if I could do it over again, if I had like a travel van and I wasn't a crunch on time, I would probably go to where you were saying, go back to Wall Drug, settle in for a couple days, see a couple of the other places that you were saying around there, when you can just pull over and park and sleep in the thing. I was like sleeping in the hotels, kind of camping. And then I had an air mattress to win the back of my SUV, and I blacked out the windows. So, so I would sleep like that, which was great at Love's and in Walmarts and Cracker Barrels or whatever. But they don't let you do that in the national parks. So like you're not allowed to sleep. You could, so at the Badlands, you can sleep out and camp for the night, but you can't sleep in your car. There's no car camping.
Right.
So I parked my car and I was like, are they really going to check on me? And so I was like, I'm just going to sleep in my car. And then right as like sunset came, a ranger came by and he's like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm getting ready to camp. He's like, where's your tent? And I was like, oh, I'm just doing it right now. I just didn't want to get out there too early because I can't do a fire or whatever. I just kind of wanted to chill. So then I kind of like begrudgingly went out there and pitched everything or whatever. But I was planning on just sleeping in my car and not getting spotted. Had I could do it over again, I would just got in my car, found a new parking spot, and then just blacked everything out and went to bed. And if anybody knocked, I would just ignore the knocks.
Yeah.
Until they went away.
Or at least you could hear the tow truck.
Two things. I was going to say, you need a dummy for your tent, and then you need a motion-activated sound recorder to make it sound like snoring.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what I would have done.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I get why they do that, because they don't want everybody to roll up in their cars and camp or whatever, right? But at the same time, it's like, what's the difference between if I go out a mile? Because that's the other thing. They don't let you camp like right there. They make you have to go out a mile, and then you also have to be a certain amount of distance away from water and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's scary as hell in the Badlands. I was a giant pussy when I was out there. I went to all sorts of places alone. I went out to Medicine Bow National Forest right after the fire. I was there. I camped out there. Didn't get nervous. I camped in like scarier places like a Walmart, which I'm probably more dangerous than out in the middle of the woods.
Oh, agreed.
But I was so scared in the Badlands, and I kept telling myself, like, why are you being a little bitch? Just go to bed. There's nothing out here. And I couldn't calm down. My heart was pounding. I just had anxiety. When I closed my eyes, it looked like lightning bolts and stuff instead of like calmness.
Right.
And I was like, oh, you're not supposed to be out here. I don't think God wants me out here, or my biology does not want me out here.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like, and I had to go down to Pine Ridge, down to the reservation to go cover a game. And the ride down there, the first part's really pretty. Like you have the Black Hills over here. You have the Badlands over here. And I guess if you pissed off like, the Oglala Lahota enough, they probably, they tie you up and they throw you out in the Badlands if you look at them funny. But really pretty drive, kind of like the first half there. And then the second half, when you start entering the reservation, like that's when you start seeing the trash and the really nasty trailers, and then a whole, like, it's almost like walking into a, like driving into a junkyard.
Yeah, it was really sad.
It is very sad.
I drove down in 2023. Instead of going north, I went south, and I went down the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Blue Ridge Highway through the Blue Ridge Mountains, and then I went to the Smokies. And when I got there, you take a right and you go to the Gatlinburg or whatever it's called, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is like a tourist town. Yeah. But if you go left, you go to Cherokee, North Carolina, which is but you come out at the reservation in the casino. And one side is just 30 minutes this way, hustle, bustle, money, beautiful houses, stores, like girls in bikinis driving 3-wheelers down the road, like 3-foot drinks and water slides and families. You go the other way, and it's like Native Americans with like there was literally a rundown amusement park with nobody there, with like rusted signs, decaying houses, cars in the front yard. And you're like, this is so sad that these are so close, but so far apart from one another economically. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm making myself like, I was going to play poker at the I think it's called the Cherokee, actually, in North Carolina, casino there. And I was like, nah, I don't want to take money from whoever lives here. I just want to go. They can keep their money. If I win, I'll feel bad. And if I lose, I'll feel bad. Actually, I might have felt better if I lost.
Oh, let the house win.
Yeah, well, you lose poker and you're giving it to the people that actually live in that town, not the casino. So that might have been better. But anyway, similar to what you were saying about the trailers and stuff, that reminded me of I think it was Cherokee, North Carolina, on the take a left at the bottom of the when you get to the Smokies, or if you're in the Smokies, you take a right, whatever, and go North Carolina. Right. But very beautiful. Anybody that hasn't done any sort of like trips in America that's listening, 100% recommend seeing if you could set some time aside and just, even if you travel a couple states over, just for me going up to Niagara Falls in New York, it's 5 hours away, gorgeous. And Tesla technology, I don't know if you've ever been, not Elon Tesla, like Tesla, the original Tesla.
Oh yeah, Nikolai Tesla.
With how
Heck yeah.
how Nikola used that waterfall, and he actually, all the ferries are electrical powered, and they run off the fuel from the waterfall.
Oh.
That they use there every day, and they go through that. But anyways, that's like not in my backyard, but 6 hours away. And most people will be born here, die here, and never even go,
Right. Yeah.
drive to see some of this stuff. And it's so beautiful. Yeah.
It is. So many really pretty places. I mean, Santa Fe, even though like there's like a rich part and there's like a really not so nice part, like Santa Fe is a super nice town, especially if you go downtown. San Antonio is beautiful.
It's Santa Fe, Mexico? New Mexico?
Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yep.
I did go there on my southern trip in 2023.
Nice.
Loved it. Gorgeous. Almost like the movies in some of the parts that I went to, where you have like the clay or the clay colored like fences with the metal fences above and like artwork on them.
Yeah.
I went to a Jamaican idol food truck there.
Oh.
And idol is Jamaican for vital.
Mm-hmm.
But idol is basically Jamaican vegan food.
Oh, okay.
And it stands for like the vital nutrients of the earth. And so me and this guy had like a talk for like 2 hours. He was about to shut the door, and I was like, I just drove from pretty much New Hampshire to come here.
Yeah.
So he opened all back up, cooked me food, we traded. He gave me a fresh tomato, which I traded to an Indian lady for a doughboy in the middle of Arizona.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so Santa Fe is really nice. Yeah, that's
a cool town.
Did you grow up around there, or did you visit there?
I visited there twice. So like the first time, we went on the ghost tour, which is always really fun because I mean this town's been around since 1610. Like, it's got its share of ghost stories, And I mean we're not in Halloween mode anymore, but there were quite a few buildings that were haunted or whatever, and there's this guy, he kind of looks like he just came out of an Indiana Jones movie, and he's got the hat and everything. He's kind of leading you around being like, oh yeah, all right, this place, here's the urban legend with this place, here's the origin of this ghost over here. There was even a bar where you can go drink at, and like there is actually supposed to be a spirit like that resides in the being, like the spirit that resides like in the kind of the Airbnb rooms upstairs, which is kind of interesting. But they named the bar after her, so it was called Julia, which was neat.
That's kind of like I don't know if I believe in ghosts, right?
I mean,
I do kind of like science-wise think there is different planes.
Yes.
Like, so we're seeing what we can see in our plane, but like we're made of like elements. Mm-hmm. So there's like planes, fabric of the universe, right? So maybe there is another level of like people living in a different type of layer of the universe or something scientifically. And if that's the case though, and they can kind of reach out to us, I don't think we should be taunting them with naming bars
after them.
I mean, maybe it's a monument. Maybe she's like, look at me, I'm pretty good one. Like I made a big fingerprint on the past there because they have a monument to me.
Yeah,
but it could also be trapping her half in this realm and half in the realm, and it torments her every day.
Oh yeah, here you got to watch this bar, and then you watch stupid people do things with the bar, But yeah.
So when you go in there, you drink at the bar, and then the idea is you go up to the Airbnb and like get spooked.
I guess like there's a particular room like she stays in, but she moves around a little bit. It's money. But I mean, it's still cool. And then the second time we, I think if I remember correctly, we went out to Meow Wolf, and they have a Meow Wolf in Vegas. I'd like to actually check out Omega Mart sometime. Like if I ever go back out to Vegas, like I flew into Vegas like a few weeks ago, but I was only there for like maybe like an hour tops before I had to fly back to Iowa. But it was like I was like, man, I want to like. Since I went to the Meow Wolf in Santa Fe, and then there's one in Denver as well. And I haven't been to the one in Denver, but I've been to Denver proper. But I wanted to go to the one in Omega Mart, and I was like, maybe one of these days I'll just get an excuse to go to Skankfest in Vegas, and then I'll just go to Omega Mart, and that it'll be a blast. You know, take Sweeze with, have an experience, and Sweeze will be like probably just he'll be like in another world to begin with. So
I hate to interrupt the show. Is it possible for me to take a bathroom break?
You can take
I'll
a
be right
bathroom
back.
break. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no
Pulling
worries.
the third curtain. I actually have, biological needs. The fans at home. So we're not just a digital content creator. So I'll be right back.
Oh, no problem. We'll be here.
We have to. Is this?
There you go. Okay, cool. And Dave will rejoin us here in a second. But yeah, it's been it's really fun talking about the places you've been. And Meow Wolf, like, to give a little bit of context with Meow Wolf is it kind of gives you the illusion that you're going to somebody's house, and then like you get kind of swallowed up, and you end up going through a freezer, or you end up going like through somebody's like refrigerator, or you go through like this little hole like where you have to crawl into, and then you come out on the other side, and it's like very psychedelic, like it's almost like you're on LSD. But really, really neat place in Santa Fe, and Santa Fe is it's a very interesting town. But yeah.
Well, I just want to give myself a little pat on the back for sitting over here in my little corner, oh so well behaved.
Yeah. yeah. But anywho,
Thank you guys for your patience.
Hey,
I
you
was trying to
betcha.
listen to you. I hate to interrupt and say I got to use the restroom, but at the same time, I couldn't be 100% present.
Yeah.
I'm like listening to you and the whole time. So I was like,
Listening to other parts of your body, you're like, no, I gotta go.
I was like, can I make it another 30 minutes so I don't interrupt the show? But I was like, I would rather just go. The fans won't care, and then the end of the show will be much better because I'll be present with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, that way you're not doing like the pee-pee dance on stream or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the most embarrassing thing they've had me do on stream. Do you guys know about jingling keys?
Oh,
Let's hear about it.
gosh. Oh.
Do you know about it, Ed?
No, I was gonna say, let's hear about it.
Oh, so Dalton and I do the live stream every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Shameless plug. And the fans just like to have fun. It's just a hang, right? So everybody comes, they're drinking, they're smoking, they're doing whatever. Like Drew Huntley, who's in the thing, showed up one day, just drunk, and he was shooting arrows at his camera.
Oh.
And then halfway through the show, he was shooting at a bullseye, but he put the camera next to it. So it was like a really cool effect watching the arrows come towards you into the bullseye. But he was 24 Coors Lights deep. And he eventually hit his camera on his phone and broke it. Right.
Uh-oh.
But that's a little fun lore. So as like things go on, the Crowder boys are joking around about how we just do brain slop, basically like we're just jingling keys for adults,
Right.
Keep themselves active. And then somebody put into the chat $10 to have $9.99 live chat to have Dave jingle keys for a minute. So I pick up my house keys. I don't have any.
Oh my gosh.
These are not them. We're starting a jingling keys thing, and this is going to be one of the giveaways, which is going to be
that's cool.
a dog key with some keys. We have a dragon. We're going to have a key cam, so you'll see the keys on camera, and you can pay to get them jingled, and then you'll get the blanks when you win, and a piece of merch. I think I'm going to do mugs or something. So the winners. Whatever. But anyways, so if I would just sit there for a minute and go like this in the microphone and time it. And then they were
ASMR.
They were paying $10 for 1 minute. And then they would do 20 for 2 and 30 for 3 and then 50 for 5. So we ended up making like $400, maybe $500 in a couple hours jingling keys plus chats, and it just became
there's an idea for you.
Yeah, so
shit.
Yes, when you start a project, you're like, where is this project gonna go? We're just having fun in the comedy hang or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just get started, I was talking about this in that on my philosophy show, if you check out my link, it's Dave Wright the Thinker on YouTube. I was talking about sometimes you just have to do the project, because once you start it, it goes someplace you could never expect or plan for. So you can plan to do it, but then you don't plan where you're going to go.
Right.
And so, like, if you told me, yeah, we're going to do Cornfed, and then in 10 months you'll be jiggling keys for, $400 a night, you call you crazy. But here we fast forward, it's like they get a kick out of it. So yeah, so there's dragon one, a cat one, a dog one, I think a dwarven axe. I forget the other ones, but basically we're going to do some key jingling for money, and then the winners will get the keys and a piece of merch.
Oh, that's cool.
I think we're going to do it in December. I'm not sure. I'm trying to set up a camera so we can have both. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's about it for the lore of it. I don't know.
Because I saw on X, like I saw the whole like the board itself, and I was like, yeah, okay, all right, there has to be some lore behind this. So I'm glad that you explained it.
Well, what I think it started with is I can't remember who the guest was when we do it, but I think it might have been Pandatron. Oh. So if for those here in chat that have made it this far, you probably already follow, but if you go follow Pandatron X on all social media, he does Cornfed Patreon with Dalton. They do bamboo fed behind the scenes, and it's the two of them. He also has a channel on YouTube where he live streams. I think he was our guest, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But had I had the key thing running last night, we have I was a little starstruck having Ray Comp on the air. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but for me, I've been following him for quite a while now. Before Tim Dillon got any of his success, I was watching Ray Comp and him on their podcast. I've kind of followed him here and there. Super funny, super friendly. But what would have been hilarious though is here's my one of my comedy idols, and I get to hang out with them. And then the fans are like, yeah, $10, bitch, jingle some keys. And I'm jingling keys, embarrassing myself in front of this comedy legend in my mind, idol, which I would do because it's funny. Yeah. It's a funny bit. So I would do it, especially having that guy on the show and then having him sit there and be like, what the hell is going on? And why are they getting paid for this?
Oh my gosh. So
did you guys
I've been sitting here watching you speak the whole entire time, and I just got a good question. You see I'm sort of starting a little beard here. Yeah. Compared to your
it looks great. It looks good.
Your mane. And I'm just wondering, I hate it now when I start eating and I've got these little hairs that want to go into my lips. How do you handle that with all that bush around your mouth?
So a couple of things is, one, it can be trained. So you can comb it and move it this way.
Oh.
Right.
And it'll start to grow that way apart.
Okay.
It takes a while. Most people don't grow the full mustache like this, but if I ever cut this short, I'll just take the whole beard off because I think this is what makes this Gandalf-y wild thing.
It's cool.
But this is my second one of these. I had one of these pre-COVID, and then my contract was you have to shave it for the mask. Oh. And then my company was fighting with the insurance companies not to. And I didn't want to put my company through that. So I just shaved it. And then literally 2 days later, my boss is like, we won. You don't have to shave your beard. And I was no.
Too late.
Yeah. So that was my 3-year-old beard. This is my 5-year-old beard. This is January 21st, 2021. Much healthier. I put leave-in conditioner or whatever, and I do have a beard smith now. But anyways, you get little tricks. So one, you'll always see me with a straw. Even if I go to a bar and I want to drink a beer, I'll get a bottle or a can so that it doesn't get in the mustache. But if I can't, sometimes I will get a straw and I'll drink beer from a straw.
Okay.
If I'm eating peanut butter toast and with breakfast, typically you would just have the peanut butter up and it would go like this. but I turn it upside down. The peanut butter is not going to fall off because it's
Right.
sticky. And the dry toast hits the top and you're in like that.
Oh.
And then when you do like
Gotcha.
cereal or like soup, you just have to open up really big and like so that you're literally treating this like your lip, and it's got to
Right.
go over the spoon. But then after that, it's just Viking rules. Like if I'm eating pancakes with syrup, or if I'm eating home fries with ketchup, I'm just treating this like a bib. Like when I'm done, I'm just planning on going to the bathroom, and you know what I mean, and taking soap and water and just hitting it really quick and then drying it because it's just gonna get in there.
Right.
Yeah.
You
But
said
I
you
will
got-
say this, I call this the big gay beard because at some point you get compliments from women on your beard. And then you pass a threshold where women hate it, which is where I'm at right now. When I'm out and about, dudes from across the parking lot are being like, bro, epic beard, man, epic beard. And no one believes me until they hang out with me and see how many times I get stopped. Skankfest 2022, I met Brian Holtzman by accident.
Okay.
I was standing shoulder to shoulder with him watching the fights, and we kind of became friends. I didn't really know if we were friends or not, but we hung out most of Skankfest. He actually introduced me to Adam Egget, and that was like, I didn't even say anything. I was so starstruck. I don't know if you guys know who Adam Egget is, but he was Norm Macdonald's like right-hand man. He runs he's the guy from the mothership that does like all the bookings or whatever now, but he used to do that in LA. Anyways, fast forward to 2023, I run into Brian Holtzman, comedian again, pulls me aside. He's like, hey, we hung out last year, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, is it Dan? Is it Dave? It's like, Dave. He's like, dude, I was hoping you'd be here. My nephew, I got to get a picture of your beard. Can I get a picture with you for my nephew? So I'm like, I was like, are you messing with me? He's like, no. I was like, what's going on? He's like, I want to just, he's like, are you embarrassed? You don't want to do it? And I was like, no, I will get a picture. It's just like, I can't. Is Brian Holtzman's asking me for a photo with him?
That's so cool.
He's like, yeah, my nephew's into beards. So I took a picture, and then he shows me, and he's like, his nephew's like geeking out over the beard or whatever. I guess he enters that weird beardo competition every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, long story long. Are you planning on growing yours out, Ed?
No, not like. Actually, I've grown my hair out, but I was just curious because I'm like, I've got this little bit of hair right here, and I'm going, God, that gets annoying.
Are you going to keep it that length? Are you going to try to get some bottom length?
No, probably not. I just haven't shaved since August.
Gotcha.
So it's just
so
a minute.
Yeah, so not to like dwell on it, but it's just one of those things where if you're going to go with this style, you're just like, this is one of the downfalls of it, that, you know, like the fact that you even thought about that means that you're kind of empathetic to other individuals, because a lot of people
Yes.
don't even recognize it. So whenever people are like, that's epic, man. And then women are like, why is everybody like so into your beard? It's like, you just wouldn't understand because you're not a guy. But like,
Right.
guys realize that they can't grow a beard like this, but if they did, they would get annoyed. It's itchy at first, and you have to persevere through all this stuff. So they're putting themselves in a mindset, like the amount of perseverance that he went through to do that is admirable, and it's epic, and it looks cool.
Right.
And it's all I got going for me, really. They're not personality. I don't have any hair in my head.
Get some glue, take this, put it up here.
Yeah. Any hair on top of his head. That's what
I played with those when I was a kid.
Yeah. So you guys found me through Sweeze?
So I found you through Sweeze.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was like, you know what? Like, I remember you kicking out this tweet being like, hey, like, you know, we're looking for people for Cornfed in November. And I was like, I'm interested. And then that was just the beginning of a beautiful conversation that we had. And I was like, man, like, I'm not a comedian, but I'm a sports guy. I can keep up with just about anything. Like, you can always have me on. Just, you know, it's kind of like what we had like going into this one, where it's like, hey, just give me a little bit of a heads up, and I'll jump on. I'll make time for you.
Yeah. Hey,
And,
let's do this right now on air for all the fans. Let me just pull up this Cornfed schedule. Are you guys free next Saturday night?
Oh yeah, I'll make time.
Yeah. You
I'll
guys
make
want to
time.
come on Cornfed next Saturday night, 10 p.m.
Sure.
and hang? All right.
Sure.
You hear it first, folks. If you made it, how many minutes are we in here? An hour and 24 minutes in. Guests next week on Cornfed. Tune in 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me and Dalton Pruitt. We host the Unfiltered Podcast.
Yeah,
with
crossover.
Tommy and Ed. It should be a good time.
Yeah.
Nope, you don't need to do anything but show up. I might have the keyboard thing. I just got to make sure. We'll make it work. I do know that I told Vandal he was supposed to come on, but I think but he never got back to me. I don't know if you guys know who Vandal is.
No.
He does artwork for like Lemon Party and Skankfest and a bunch of other things. But as far as I'm concerned, you guys are the guests for next week. Let me just make sure.
That's awesome. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be really fun.
We'll do a crossover show. It is nice being here. Nothing about Dalton or Robbie or Ray Kump or whatever. They're comedians and they're performers.
Yes.
So they're very confident to be like zip, zap, zop, loud, go, go, go. And so I have problems jumping in sometimes. So then I feel like my equipment's broken or my headset's not working or I suck or what's going on. And then I get invited to somebody else's podcast and we have a great talk and it's back and forth and calm and relaxed. I'm like, oh, okay. Not everybody hate everybody. Not that it's bad. I'm not saying anything bad. They are stage performers.
They are.
Right.
And so I'm learning how to zip, zap, zop. But you guys will have fun next week. Dalton will interview you, ask you the same type of questions or whatever. It'll be a blast.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, okay, all right. I'm going to go way back to before the show. And I mean, we're pulling back the curtain just a little bit. So, and we kind of give a little bit of a tease on it because I was like, hey, Dave, do you got time? And luckily I gave you like, a couple days head start. Or at least a heads up. And so I was actually going to bring on PWR, and the story behind PWR, Alex, is that he was like a Dark Side Phil fan, and he kind of broke away a little bit because Dark Side Phil kind of like disowned him, and he got known by a show called Kino Casino. They're on Kick primarily. They caught word so that he got in an argument with his mom because he gave his last $3 to Phil, and Phil's an e-beggar, which is a cardinal sin in our world. And Drew, welcome back. He then proceeded to argue with his mom on stream about buying him Burger King for dinner, and he lost the argument live on air. So is he purposely making lol cow entertainment, or is he just inadvertently overstreaming his life? I think he's just inadvertently overstreaming. Like he's not a bad dude. He's just lost. And I got a message for him here in a second. But last Saturday, I mean, we were supposed to pre-record for the show. Ed was gone because he had surgery earlier in that week. So it was just me and him. We were going to go at it. We were going to go back and forth for 2 hours and visit with him and be talk, old school professional wrestling because he loves the Monday Night Wars. And along with old school video games because that's what he primarily streams when he's on YouTube.
Yep.
And he no-shows. And I'm it's 7 o'clock. I'm holding off. I was planning to go somewhere after the show was over. And I'm hey man, I was trying to be hey, maybe you just forgot or whatever. So I just shoot him a message. I'm like, hey man, just let we're still good. We could just live stream it. We could do a live show on Sunday and all good. No problems. I got no problems. What I didn't know was on that Saturday night, he was on Kick and he was streaming himself, getting drunk, snorting cocaine. And
They allow that on Kick?
I guess, but
Yeah.
no,
They don't
he
allow
didn't. He got
boobs.
banned. He got banned for like 3 days.
Okay. Yeah, they don't
And-
allow boobs. Well, actually, Kick's the one that's a little bit wilder and looser, I
Yes.
think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Kick streamers have a little more of a bad rep to them, I suppose.
Yeah, I was thinking Twitch and them are the same, but Kick's more like, wilder, and
Yeah.
Twitch is a little bit more restricted. Yeah.
Right.
Ah,
right.
shit, he is back.
Yeah, he did get brought back. So he messages me about about an hour and a half before we go on. And I improvised. I brought in our friend Rick, and he was like, "Hey man, like, I'm sorry, I stepped on some glass last night. I'm good. Like, can we reschedule?" And I was like, "Okay, we could do it for when we're meeting now." And it all seemed all good. And I was like, man, he just, he got too hot. That's one of his like little catchphrases. He got too hot. He just couldn't make it. And
Yeah.
I post that on Monday to kind of hype up our show because we confirmed him like the few days before. And
Come to find out, though.
we come to find out, and Ed hinted at this because we looked into it. Like, it's like, where is his Kick? Like, he has a Kick profile, but where is it? And we were like, it's whatever. And so we get on, and I post a promotional post on X, and I have a guy that used to work for Drama Alert and for It's a Gundam, and he was like, too hot, aka he was doing cocaine on stream, got naked and got on suicide watch, and he was in the hospital.
I shouldn't laugh. I'm not laughing at the guy's life falling apart. I'm laughing about getting caught on stream like that because now that I have this camera here with the lens, every time I shut this down, I cap this.
Yes.
Because when I wake up in the morning, I'm butt naked and I walk past this and I hit that on, and then I go back and I make my coffee, and then I take my shower. And it's only a matter of time before I'm getting bigger and I'm an actual streamer and I'm live and I forget everything on, and I'm going to walk by naked and turn that on. So that's like a fear. So the fact that he's like, he's so coke-headed that he's like, let's get naked. The party's going. Let's get hot, baby.
Yeah. He got way too hot. But he did it during a Shawn Michaels retrospective, which is the craziest thing. And and then so I had to let him go. I was like, we can't tolerate it. I shoot the guy a message. I was like, hey, thank you for bringing this up to my attention. And then I do, I go on my professionalism type of deal. And but I mean, I think for right now, I gotta give him the boot. I gotta get a little distance, but Alex, if you're out there, Alex, if you're out there listening, get clean. First of all, get clean. Get yourself on the right track. We'll bring you back in. We'll bring you back in, and we just don't want you to I know some people like the train wreck, but we don't.
I want to laugh with somebody and not at somebody.
Right, I agree.
And you can still we had Dalton and I had Ray Kump on last night, and we were busting chops, or they were busting chops, or whatever. And the fat jokes were flying, and and vice versa. And I mean, Dalton calls me a pedophile because I'm Greek and all this stuff. So there's all sorts of jokes that go inner jokes that go on or whatever. But it's all in good fun, and we're not. I would not want to ever laugh at Dalton. You know what I mean? So and vice versa. So I respect that you guys aren't gonna cow him on your show or whatever. Yeah, especially because it shows integrity too. Because you guys are, if you're anti-e-begging, then you kind of got to be anti-lol cowing, because it's kind of like the same genre, basically.
And I was under the impression, on his YouTube channel, he was trending in the right direction. I mean, little did I know about his Kick channel, where he was a little more wild. Yeah. And that's probably the best word for it, is a little more wild. But I was like, man, you can do so much more, not just giving into the impulses and and having a little bit of snow on stream, please don't. Like, I don't mind people drinking, smoking, having a fun time, but please no hard drugs. Like, don't do that. Go get clean. We'll love talking, old school wrestling. We'll love, talking old school video games, but
down the road,
please, yeah, especially down the road.
Well, I've done Skankfest a couple times, and they talk about how many drugs are there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big drinker. I usually try to drink with purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did a big hike in Ohio, I think it was, and I got to the top of the mountain. There's a lodge there that sells beer, and I had a beer to remember that.
Yeah.
And when I went to Skankfest, I drank. But I never got offered hard drugs at Skankfest, and I guess there's a lot of them going around. And Dalton had said, I can't go because I don't want to be around hard drugs until like I'm fully mentally healed from, he had some depression and anxiety and stuff that he wants to heal from before he puts himself in temptation's way.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even think about that, like, because no one's ever offered me that stuff. And if they did, I didn't know.
Right.
Like if they were saying, hey, I'm from Colorado, it snows a lot there. I was like, oh, really? Do you go skiing? Like I would not, I wouldn't even think cocaine. But then I did this year get a lot of messages from people that were there, basically like explaining to me some of the activities that are going on. And I was like, oh, the people that I would have been hanging out with were doing a lot of drugs that I wouldn't have been doing. So it might have not been that fun for me, because it's like if you're not doing the same, if you're not on the same wavelength, let's just say, like if you're sober and somebody's got a couple beers in them, it's cool. But once they get a certain number of beers, you're like, okay, we're not even the same wavelength anymore.
Right. It becomes to the point where you're babysitting them more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you're not babysitting them, you're just annoyed by them acting like different. Yeah. And then if they get super hyped on like Coke or whatever, and you're trying to chill out and laugh, it's going to be a different experience too, And I do hang out with a lot of potheads. I used to be in like a band or whatever, and they would smoke and I wouldn't. And I can kind of deal with that because they usually just like rock out and like they're just on the guitar, like having fun, or the drums or whatever. So it's not intrusive. It's just like a chill session. But yeah. Anyways, like I think what's going on, back to the kick thing and some philosophy, is do you guys in your 30s?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm just entering my 50s, so I didn't know. So my generation, like we grew up drinking in our 20s, partying at clubs, going out, running into people, navigating social settings in real time. Like you might get punched, you might not get punched, you have to de-escalate. You go to like a green room or a punk room, and you might see drugs for your first time, and you have to make a decision if you're going to be around them or leave. And then you're like, am I going to be not cool with my clique if I don't do this? And it was like real time. With everybody going online and like the COVID lockdowns and stuff, that's a big part of life that I don't think people experienced in certain generations. And it's good because the temptation's not there, but also you lose the social ability to navigate those situations because you haven't got the reps in of being in that situation. So I wonder with these kick streamers and stuff, if people watch like them partying, drinking, Coke, gambling, as like vicariously living through them, because like, oh, I would never do this. I wouldn't even know how to like get into this. So it's kind of fun to watch a drug addict, because I'm never going to be a drug addict, but what is one really like? Not on TV, not in the storybooks. You know what I mean? So then they get to turn into kick and be like, oh, hey, there's a drug addict. Check it out. Check him out. Oh, I can talk to him. Here,
I can throw money on him. That's great. I can feed the addiction. Like,
yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have a feeling that it's kind of like that, because like I said, even when I was at the club and I'm on stage, I'm talking to these people, I'm playing pool, I'm drinking, I'm like, I'm going to go back into the green room and say hi to the guys. But I also know when I go in there, they're all did acid. So like I'm going to be hanging out with kids on acid when I go in there, and it's going to be like a different experience. So I'm happy I had those experiences and then I never did the drugs, but I can see why somebody would be tempted to tune in to watch somebody doing that without having to ever do it themselves and see what's going to happen. Are they going to jump out a window? Are they going to punch a hole in their wall? Are they going to get naked on stream?
Yeah, and it's such a slippery slope too, because you're not going to prevent minors from jumping on stream and like either egging it on or being like trying to live vicariously through the streamer. So I get what you're saying, and it could be dangerous. And I mean, I know like I partied in my 20s, and I mean, man, I loved college. Like I partied with guys who ended up like playing quarterback in the Canadian Football League and stuff like that. That was
nice.
That was fun. But like then after a while, you realize, the later in life that you decide to party like that, because like you get me in a setting. Okay, so like this was a few years ago. This small town, about 300 people, had like a St. Patrick's Day party. And I had an old classmate of mine invite me out. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this will be really fun. Little did I know, like when they started passing me beers, I was like double fisting like a college student.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I ended up like, one, getting sick, like on the way home, which don't drink and drive, kids. And then two, I was like in bed by 10 and I felt like crap. Like, when I woke up the next morning, like it was not fun. So I was like, okay, we got to stop. We're cutting it off right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that happened to me is when I did quit partying and I quit like the scene, I got a lot of anxiety in my life and I didn't know where it was coming from. But what I had recognized was I started realizing that when I was partying in like my life away and like being hungover and making bad decisions and not planning or working on future goals or whatever, I was losing all that time. And now is the feeling of having to make up for all that lost time of like partying was creating anxiety because I felt behind from my peers. Like, so up to like college, you're right alongside. And then if you start drinking and having fun and partying and chasing girls, and then you have some buddies that don't, and they stay on track, and then they get out and they get a job and they meet a good woman and they're getting married. And you're like, oh crap, I'm still at the club with all these retards, killing myself. I got to go find a good woman. I got to like get a better job. I got to start saving for retirement. And I haven't done any of it. It can start spiraling into hyper anxiety.
Right.
And then nowadays, I think kids are suffering from that just because even if you were to stay on track the whole time, you're like, oh, I'm still fucked.
Yeah.
Like I stayed on track the whole time, didn't get off track. And I don't have enough money to save. My groceries are too expensive. Jobs are depleting or whatever. And that's going to create that same sensation.
Right.
So you're like, well, I don't have money for Coke, but I do have $2 to go to see if I can get this guy naked on stream.
Yeah. It is crazy.
When you like haven't drank, I didn't drink till I was 22. Did you guys grow up in like where you drank when you were like 16 or stuff at parties?
Senior. Yeah. Actually,
most of my friends did. And I didn't have this like complete fear, but there was a part of me in the back of my head that was like, what if I get drunk and then I get naked and embarrass myself or whatever? Like it wasn't a full 100%, but it was like, 15% of one of my concerns with drinking was it ends up like, because you don't know what to expect when you hear these stories.
Right.
So it is kind of funny to hear somebody did so many drugs that they did actually get naked. And not just at a local party or at their friend's cousin's house or whatever, on a live stream recorded. Anybody that was watching was like, record, screenshot.
Oh my God.
Like, clip that.
Yeah, like it's not, they took it down, but they didn't take it down. Once you pee in the pool, it's like, it's in the pool.
It's contaminated. Yeah, you're just never the same. Yeah, I mean, I remember, gosh, I was so lucky to like grow up before the whole social media live streaming thing where, oh my gosh, like I remember like walking out of the football game last night and these two cheerleaders were like they were pointing the camera at themselves, and then they pointed the camera at me, and they're like, aren't you excited that, that the team, the home team won? And I'm like, yeah. And then I went like sports broadcaster mode. I was like, it was really good. Like it came down, like they came back from like at least 17 down, come back and win, like with 6 seconds left, and go ahead, kick after, yippee, like, best season since here, and most league wins since here. And then I think they got like a little bored because I was like, all right, turn that part of the brain on. And, it was funny. But also at the same time, I was like, I don't want to do anything to embarrass myself. So
so how old are the cheerleaders?
They were like I think early 20s. So like, 21, 22.
Living their whole life on air.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But also, because I was just thinking, like, I mean, you are a public figure within that setting.
Agreed.
But it is wild to just turn the camera on somebody and be like you're the weirdo if you don't interact with us. Like, no, actually, you're kind of being weird pointing the camera at me.
Yeah.
Without my permission.
True.
And now I'm in a position where I have to pretend like I like it, or I'm gonna get called a Karen by
right. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm gonna call the manager. But but it was fine. Like I just you got to know when to just turn it on sometimes too.
Yeah.
And I have and Ed will notice this when we get done with our shows. Is like, man, I'm tired. I'm ready to take a nap. I'm just I'm like wiped out.
Well, don't worry. Saturday night, this Saturday, upcoming night, November 22nd, 2025, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Cornfed YouTube channel. You won't have to be on because you can just relax in the cool setting of our live stream with Dalton Pruitt, where cool. Authenticity and the punk rock lifestyle of the lo-fi show Cornfed is what everybody comes to see. So you don't have to like put on a radio voice or whatever.
Oh, it's fine. I usually will turn on like, so it's just like, I think it's, I was on another podcast, not ours, but I was on almost like we talked NFL football. And what's crazy is I kind of kept up because I knew a little bit, but not like the intimate details like the main host does. So, Ryan Justice, kudos to you, man. You did fantastic. I was just like, okay, all right. I just know some basic talking points. But I turned it on and he was like, oh man, I'd love to have you back on. Like it's, you're so awesome. And I'm like, I just made you the star of the show. I was just here to make you look good. So, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's just, hey, let's make the guests look great. Make Dave look like $1 million. Try not to make PWR any more of a locale than he's already been like the last week. And be like, hey, get clean, man. And then, bring on a guy like, Rick Elsey, who talks about anything from pro wrestling to comic books and movies and, and nostalgic stuff and, and really make him shine. So,
yeah, that's smart. One of the reasons that Dalton and I work so well and people were surprised that we're going to work, that the show keeps growing and everything, is we are different in enough. We're similar in enough ways that we can do a show together, but different enough ways that it's always interesting. And I'm become wise in my old age, and you've already figured it out, so that's great. That I used to try to be, when I was real young, you would want to pretend like you know everything. Like, oh, I know everything about the NFL, so I'll just keep up with this guy. And Dalton, for instance, is really big into movies and TV shows, and I don't even have a TV. I don't even turn it on. Like, I just work out, run or listen to podcasts where I'm working. And so instead of me pretending like I know about this movie or this guy, like I'm an authority on everything, I just sit there with him and I was like, oh, I have no idea who that is. Who is that? And then he'll explain it. And I was like, what other movies are in? Let me pull this up. And the fans might think I'm crazy because everybody knows who this guy is. But it makes much better broadcasting for me to be honest and be like, I'm an idiot. I have no idea what the TV show Severance is about.
Right.
Let's explain it. And now we go back and forth and he gets to really enjoy a topic that he loves instead of me shutting it down and being like, I have no idea what this is about, let's go on to something else. I'll just be like, okay, let's just be really interested in whatever Dalton's talking about, and that'll lead somewhere. Even if it's just me and Dalton getting to know each other better live on camera. And by the time, and then 5 minutes later, I'm jingling keys because the audience has figured something out.
I mean, it's like, oh yeah, like I've never heard of this. Tell me about it, Dalton. And go from there and let him explain it. And and nobody better could explain it than he could if he knows it inside and out. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, when you guys invited me on here, and I was like, I looked up some of your stuff, and it's like, oh, he's into sports. I grew up on the Red Sox and the Patriots when they stunk.
Yeah.
And then when they won, we had the Celtics growing up in the Bruins, but when they won, I kind of got away from them because I was like, oh, I just love losing. And now that they're winning all the time and there's like pink hats everywhere jumping on the bandwagon, it's not enjoyable for me anymore because I know they're going to win. Not that I know they're going to win, but they got so good that like the Patriots almost weren't fun anymore. I wasn't getting that high when they won. Yeah. Because it was so low before. Anyway, so I got away from sports. So I was like, what am I going to talk to these guys about? And then I was like, just settle in. You'll figure it out. And if they start talking about sports, just be like, I don't watch sports. Tell me about this guy you're talking about. Never heard of him before.
Right. And, like the whole PWR thing and having to explain. It's like, okay, all right, here's this guy's origins. Here's how this guy got popular, and then how he got a niche audience. And then explain the shenanigans he got into. And then, okay, all right. And then offer some helpful advice for the guy. So
yeah, it's always funny when we like did you guys ever listen to the podcast Come Town? With Nick Mullen and Stavros and all them. Well, it's any podcast when it's on long enough. Our show, for example, when Dalton does the intro, it's like the song, the intro, the names, everything he's doing, the sound bites when he introduces the show, it's all memes on top of memes on top of memes.
Oh, it's
so if somebody's been watching. Yeah, so if somebody's been watching the show from the beginning, they know why he calls himself Dalton Pruitt. Right, like, but you kind of had to be there, and it grows. But it's funny to me, we have a big star for us on last night, and Dalton starting the show, and he's like, me, Dalton Pruitt, the Billionaire Podcast Network with Dalton Pruitt, and then he plays the dolphin sound. He's like the golden Kokachu or whatever it is from Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah,
and then he plays that music, and then Dave Wright the Thinker. And he plays Greek music, and I go, Opa. And then I'm just watching the guest face. He's like, what am I? What?
What did we get into?
Yeah, and then if they're wherever, like, what is that intro all about? You're like, well, it started back in February of 20, when this happened and then this happened. So I have learned so much from just meeting new people. So thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, you betcha.
Because come on here, have a conversation with you. Very interesting, very fun, and it's good for me. It makes me more confident in broadcasting, where I know that I can come on here and just, I don't know anything about wrestling or sports, and if I came back and that's all we talked about it, I would just be like, okay, tell me about this, tell me about that. Yeah. Okay, why is this cool?
Right. Yeah. And I think the fun part is like I like having like kind of a diverse lineup. Yep. So like, to have you and then have say like a sports ball person, or to have like a VTuber, and that's a deep rabbit hole in itself. I mean, don't even get me started on VTubers, or you get like a lolcow, that's somebody that's trying to be on the mend, that's trying to get, just trying to do good, and just kind of having a nice diverse a super diverse lineup of people, and being like, hey, like let's bring these different people on, let's get some different perspectives, and let's have them tell their stories. And that's the biggest thing I've learned in my time in broadcasting is it's, I'm mostly playing the narrator. I need to let other people be the star of the show. I need to allow them to be themselves. and to be authentic and genuine and essentially tell their story. So, you know, you can make them more human, more relatable. You can make them like, you know, you can either say, hey, like, you know, look at this guy. Like, he is much more than just jingling keys on stream. Or
I don't know about that.
Right. But
yeah.
Or, you know, like, or you give him enough news to hang himself on, but which I don't think that's the case here. But yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming for. You know, anything and everything. I can usually keep up. Ed can keep up as long as it's not sports ball. So that's why I was like, man, let's have Dave on. Let's have, you know, some friends that I know from the sports media scene. Let's have some different YouTubers on here. So in the wake of all this craziness that happened, I found somebody that was really, really cool. And he is more of a kind of a commentator on the whole lol cows thing, specifically a horror cow named Cyrax. And I hate Cyrax. Like, I can't stand the guy, but it's like hate watching. Like, he's my drug. Like, you know, people could talk about drinking, or they can talk about, like, you know, cocaine or anything like that. My drug is Cyrax rages and his racks outs. Where people troll him, and he looks like a goblin. Just look him up sometime. He does look like a goblin you run into from like Skyrim. Or
does he get legitimately upset on stream?
He does. And
he just keeps coming back for more pain.
Yeah, it's so bad. And people troll him, and they like, okay, so the latest saga was like a deposition. They were going to go to court. And it was orchestrated by a big streamer named, big YouTuber named John. He had like the Morbid. He had a bigger channel called Morbid. And he got his play button and everything. And he teamed up with Cyrax's most notable trolls, which is like William Gloryhole. That's seriously the guy's name, and Southern Harlot. And they brought on some different actors to play like Cyrax's lawyer and to play John's lawyer. And they played out this whole scenario. And they did 2 full streams of this deposition. The first one, Cyrax is going nuts. He's screaming like, don't listen to me. No, shut up. Like, I'm talking. That's how he talks. And then the second time, he's very professional. He's very grounded. He's like, I submitted all my evidence. So they convinced him to give them all like his bricked up Xboxes and his computers and everything. Because that's what happened to him over the years. They would send him like these kill sticks that he would be like, oh man, I got free games off these. And he would put them in. It would just fry his computer, fry his Xbox, whatever. And, so he willingly sent off this stuff to like his, for deposition. And then they cut to a part, it's like, where they drop the facade. They're like, okay, all right. First of all, fuck you, Cyrax. Like, we have all the evidence. And they played a video of them burning, like, the computers and the Xboxes and getting rid of the evidence. And, like, Cyrax just, like, he went from being really smug because, like, he doesn't care about anybody but himself. He's in a world, he's in a city delusion. Good old...
wait, let me look. I remember that we had a big one with when I was growing up. It was a guy that they made like a whole movie about him or whatever. Do you remember that guy with the long hair?
Oh my gosh. I mean,
you know who I'm talking about, right?
A little
he
bit.
Was like they convinced this guy that they made a documentary. It was the local of all locals before Chris Chan.
Oh, before Chris Chan. Okay.
Before Chris Chan, and they made like a movie about this guy. It was a fake documentary, but he thought it was real. But he was getting lolcowed.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, the reason they could get him so well is because of people like, oh, how does he fall for this? Like, because he's so delusional that he believes that he's a celebrity, that he's you can't feel bad for, you kind of feel bad for him, but also he's such a jerk and so delusional that it's like anybody that had any self-awareness or self-reflection wouldn't fall for this.
Right.
So it's like, you kind of do still find it funny.
Yes. Yeah.
So this sounds like this guy here.
It sounds like this
he's
guy.
not like he's a good person that everybody's making fun of.
Right.
He's a bad, rotten person.
Yeah.
That's falling for these stuff because he thinks he's getting stuff over on somebody, but they're actually getting over on him.
Exactly. So, and before like the whole, like this is many Cyrax cycles ago. There's like a Cyrax cycle. So like he'll get off the internet for like maybe 2 weeks, maybe not even a day. He'll come back. He'll be like, he has this grandiose idea. So he's smug rags. And then he runs into the trolls and he tries to be an internet tough guy. And then he gets into his racks outs. Like, you know, he goes crazy. He reads in the riot act. He, goes into slur mode. Tries to get one up by like pulling his pants down and showing his winky. And then he would do a stream where he'd be like all sad. He'd sit in the dark. He'd have these crocodile tears. And he'd be like, I'm never coming back. And then he comes back. So he's just a glutton for punishment. But I don't think he's all there. So
he doesn't sound like. I am listening, but I'm also trying to see if I can find this.
So in many moons ago, he actually did beef with Danny Brown. Like, the notable rapper and everything. It was very one-sided. Danny Brown just made fun of him the entire time.
Danny's the one that's also a comedian now, right? He's got like a little higher pitched voice. Yeah.
Right. And Danny like was with like Shane Gillis and all those guys for like a little bit. Yeah. And so anywho, but like the latest, there was the disposition. And then so I found a guy that keeps tabs on him, made friends with him. He's called CJ Holiday. So shout out to CJ. He had a YouTube channel. CJ! Shout out to CJ. He's back at it like a crack at it with a bad habit, and that's his little tagline. But he's a great guy, and I got to talking with him. He loves talking, like along with talking about like Cyrax or whatever, where he just tells them to get off the internet. And Cyrax does not listen. I guess Cyrax doesn't care, but. He does love talking about UFC, and he does get hyped up off UFC. So, yeah, but, I mean, out of all that situation, like, I made a friend. So, like, I'll take that as a win. And a lot of people were like, oh, you didn't do anything wrong, you did the right things. And I was like, yeah, well, we don't want, like, to bring on, like, some dude that's hyped up on coke on the stream,
No.
So, but... Yeah, that I guess that's the roundabout way of saying, oh, hey, like I made a new friend out of all this mess, and hey, things turned out for the better. So, yeah,
it is interesting. Like I was saying about like, I checked into a Spaces one day on Twitter, and I was like, oh, Dalton Pruitt's in here. I remember him from New York comedy.
Yeah,
started talking to him. Got invited to a Saturday night show. He says, oh, that went well. You want to come back next Saturday? Now it's been like 11 months. And now I've been on, now I'm on your show because of that. Mm-hmm. And it is interesting how the networking works because like I once you kind of lean into just having fun and not like being calculated and just going where the journey takes you, you can meet a lot of cool people on the, I don't want to sound like Cartman from South Park, but it's fun to meet guys on the internet.
Yeah.
Why the fuck that?
Yeah.
But that's the fun part is, I mean, we don't do this for, we're not like a Mizkif where we're chasing, clout and trying to look at numbers or whatever. We're trying to meet different people that offer different perspectives, and most importantly, people that we can have fun with, and we can talk about, like, we could talk Cyrax, or we could talk Darkside Phil, but we can also talk Skankfest, we could also talk road trips, we could also talk about, like, just life in general. And and Ed loves the talk about the diet stuff as much as like he loves talking about old school video games and a little bit of music. Yeah, Ed's kind of tilting his head a little bit, but I mean, I think, the more diverse...
You know what you just called me live on stream?
What's that?
Forever with you is Garth. What the fuck?
Garth was not a bad character. I like Garth. So
No, talking about he's this or he's that. You you just stereotyped me.
Did I? Oh, I guess so. I mean,
you did.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't treat Ed as the sidekick, even though he's thinking that right now. But it was like, nah, he's the friend that, gets to go on the journey with me to talk with, a whole bunch of really cool people that you meet on the internet. And that's probably one of my most favorite parts of doing this is being able to, and then through Sweeze as well. Sweeze, flaws and awe. We love him. We love him very much. Flaws and awe. But we can, but he was able to open up the doors, at least kick them open a little bit to where we can meet these really cool people like you, Dave, like, Douglas from,
Sibling Revelry.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. So, let me just check. So on the 29th, Saturday the 29th, I'm going to be a little late to Cornfed because I am going to be on Rumble with Sibling Revelry.
That's cool.
Doing their podcast with Paul and Doug on that day. I think I'm going to have a special guest covering for me.
Okay.
So you guys will have to tune in to see who that special guest is.
Oh.
But it's not confirmed yet.
If it's Sumo Dog, I mean, people are going to go nuts.
It's not Sumo Dog.
Okay, Dog, dadgummit, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I almost said Dog on it for a second, but.
to get Ed's back for a second, when I first started podcasting and I was coming on Dalton's show, I was like, oh, I got to be funny. I got to hang. I got to be this. I got to be that. And the fans hated me. And I was trying to be a comedian when I wasn't a comedian, hanging out with comedians. And then we'd have a big guest on and I was like, oh, I'm not talking much. So I got to talk more to even it out and do this, that, and the other thing. And then the biggest thing that I learned is just learning what your role is. So last night when we had Ray and Dalton together, I just did what Ed did. I pulled way back and I was just like, okay, they're in the flow. I'll interject when I need to interject. But it's actually being aware and good at podcasting, knowing not to jump in when not. And then other times we've had guests on with Drew Flores. Shout out to Drew. We love him from Dork Court. If you guys love Dork Court with Miguel and Drew. And he's just really tired from work and he shows up and he doesn't want to talk much. And then it's basically me and Dalton talking with the guest jumping in a little bit. And to be able to switch gears and read what's going on in the room is something that I've taken away from watching it. It's people watch the podcast and you think, oh, anybody could do that. I could do that. And I'm not going to squash anybody. So if you have a dream to be a podcaster, you can do it. Come out and do this.
You can.
But some people just have a better knack for communicating and talking and hanging as a group. And there is more than just showing up. You never know what your role might need to be. And like I said, in Cornfed, I pretty much step back and let Dalton be the lead at his show. It's not Cornfed with Dave Wright. It's Cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. Mm-hmm. So I do step back. But when I've been on Here to Help podcast, this podcast, Sibling Revelry, you guys do make me feel like a celebrity. And then I take a bigger role in taking front stage.
Yeah.
I just saying this all out loud. It might seem oh, Dave, of course, everybody recognizes that. And it's as I'm saying it out loud, you guys are recognizing this, but not everybody. I watch people in real life not do this. Yeah. Even at the grocery store or at Staples or whatever, not recognizing when they need to fall into a certain part of the hierarchy. Mm-hmm. So anyways, long story longer, Ed, not being your sidekick. I didn't think that for 1 second. I just thought that Ed was chilling. He interjected when he wanted to interject. He started hacking in the middle of the show. He had to break into the CIA for a second. We could hear the keyboards going. Yeah, he's probably downloaded all your banking information if you're in the live chat right now. Yeah. And he's ordering Dubai chocolate as we speak, flown into his house for tomorrow. Yeah.
Is it keto?
Actually, it is not keto. Oh,
Probably
actually, it's no chocolate. Dubai chocolate's got too high of a glycemic index.
Yeah.
What was I seeing recently? I forget what it is. Oh, so is maple syrup keto? Somebody was telling me that the glycemic index on maple syrup is low enough that it's actually a keto sweetener, and I never double checked it. So
There goes Ed. He's hacking in, man. He's hacking.
He's hacking into Brian Johnson's account right now to figure this out.
The sad part is I need to see an actual bottle of maple syrup.
I guess it depends on the type of maple syrup, you'd think.
Yeah. Well, I know, go ahead, Ed.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I know, like, white rice and potatoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you cook them and then put them in the refrigerator overnight, the starches change.
Right.
And then when you eat them in the morning, they're not keto at this point, but they're lower on the glycemic index, and they keep your glycogen from spiking because of the way that starches change. And so if you're eating like hash browns for breakfast every day, for example, but you cook the potatoes ahead of time the night before, let them sit in the refrigerator overnight, then turn them into hash browns in the morning, most likely your glycogen spike will stay low enough that you won't get sleepy after breakfast.
Oh.
And if you're doing like beans and rice and you do the same thing with the rice, even if you reheat it, the starches have already been broken down a little bit and the same thing will happen. So there was a list, some foods on the keto thing that I was like, how the hell is that keto? But it was because of, whatever, like, there's another one with like, if you cook your rice with coconut oil and then keep it in the refrigerator, that lowers it even more for some reason. I don't think it makes it keto, but it lowers the glycemic index by like more than half or something crazy.
Okay.
Whatever you guys do, don't fact check me on any of this.
No, I mean, we usually have a disclaimer on the description, so
yeah,
we're good.
I was going to say that a regular great value pure maple syrup has 26 grams of carbs inside of 2 tablespoons. And I mean, that's a lot of carbs, period. Most keto people try to go for 20 and lower every day, usually 20 to 30. But I bought this stuff that I got from Chalk Zero. We are not affiliated with them in any way.
Nope.
But the main ingredient in there is going to be soluble corn fiber. And so that's what gets used instead of the corn syrup that comes in all of our foods and makes them extremely unhealthy. I would believe that this definitely has a low effect on blood sugar, but as far as regular syrup would, I'd stay the hell away from it. I personally.
You guys do honey then? Is that what you guys do? No,
I don't.
I've seen a lot of carnivores do like honey and salt, honey. I forget. Yeah. I don't like any of the fake sweeteners. Not that they're fake, but like stevia, monk fruit,
erythritol.
Yeah, all that stuff tastes weird to me. It has a weird aftertaste.
It does.
Yeah. You gotta get used to it.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I mean, I used to be a lot healthier. Now I've given myself some snacks because I was so restricted that I was like miserable.
Yeah.
But I don't fight with carnivore keto people because I get it. It's definitely much healthier from a health standpoint than the average American diet. But what I would personally suggest for me is like one of the benefits when I went veganism, I was reading all the labels. So you're seeing exactly what you're eating. And you're starting to say, why is like this in this? There's no reason for this, and this to be in this. So like whenever I eat beans, they're dried and I rehydrate them and cook them. So there's no extra salts, preservatives, whatever. They're not sitting in a can that has plastic lining in it on a shelf that who knows where it was.
Right.
But if you go keto carnivore and you feel good, I would go on and get Chronometer. It's an app for free. You can pay for a subscription, but if you just get the free stuff and put it in and you start tracking your food, it'll show you all the nutrients that you're getting and the micronutrients.
Right.
And so
yeah.
Okay.
if you're feeling tired, lethargic, unhealthy, you're getting like skin issues or whatever, do that for like a couple weeks and you'll immediately see which minerals, vitamins and stuff you're not getting in your diet because you've become in a habit of doing the same thing. I believe most people on carnivore are going to find that it's fiber that they're missing. And that's in that fiber. Like that fiber, you're smiling. I know I'm a vegan, so people.
God damn it! I don't want to poop.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's bad for your colon. It's really unhealthy for your colon long term, and it can create fatty liver disease too. So, like between those two things, it's a good. It's a good thing. For me, it's usually like omega 3, 6, and 9 because I'm vegan. B12. My protein's usually pretty good, which is surprising to people, but part of that's also because I know what to eat after so long.
Right.
But I have to keep an eye, like I have to have walnuts every day. I have to usually supplement omega 3s. I do a lot of like, if I'm going to make salad dressings or add stuff to like chili or stuff, it's always nutritional yeast. Like in almost everything I put like a tablespoon in it because I need to like do extra B12 because most of it's not getting processed. So if I don't do that, I'll start to get tired. But if everybody did that, one of the good things I think with the carnivore diet, if you track it, is you know exactly what's in your body. And then if you want to get away from it, you can start saying, okay, I'm going to do carnivore and I'm going to do like corn. And then you do like corn on the cob and you feel sick. So you're like, okay, I don't eat corn. I'm going to try tomatoes and cucumber lettuce salad. And it's like, okay, I do feel good with vinegar, oil, olive oil, and whatever, so I can add this back into my diet. And then you're getting your fiber, you're still pretty much staying in keto. You're getting like olive oil is better than Ozempic for you. I literally probably drink close to a liter a week of olive oil, and I'm not some big fat bloated whatever. It's good.
Fat doesn't cause fat.
Yeah, no. I don't have any joint issues or whatever. People call me crazy. They're like, they look at my skin and they're like, I am getting old now and like whatever. But I know people half my age that look twice as bad as I do. And I really do think it's because of the amount of my Mediterranean diet for most of my life, which is high in fats, high in fiber. The meat aspect of it, we don't have to get into, but those two things, good fats are good for you.
Yeah.
It's just that most people are not doing like avocados, extra virgin olive oil, actual one, not soy oil mixed with it. And then coconut oil. Yeah.
And isn't there something about the way they process the oil? It's the olive oil. It's what's that called? Cold something? I forget what that word is.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget too. It has flavonoids or something in it. So basically you have two types of olives, and like the black olives that are softer are easier to get oil out of, I think. Wait, it's maybe the green ones produce more oil, but they're harder to get the oil out of. And the black olives produce less oil, but they're easier. So a lot of times, they're trying to get the really good olive oil for you out of those olives.
Cold extracted.
Yeah, once they start looking more and more at these blue zones, and for those not familiar with blue zones, these are like the super healthy areas in the world that for some reason they're just longevity, health, activity is much higher than everywhere else. And they used to think it was like all sorts of factors, and now they recognize all but one have a huge extra virgin olive oil part of their diet. There's like one Asian culture that uses black rice vinegar, which is also very good for your microbes. But yeah,
I've got a good hint for you. You mentioned beans earlier, like chili, all that.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much all beans, even yellow soybeans, those are really high in carbs. They're 15 a serving.
Yeah.
But I found out that the only thing that we could ever use around here was black soybeans, because those are 2 carbs a serving. So
nice.
We go with black soybeans.
Yeah. So I have a extensive bean collection. If we went to my kitchen, I have black beans, red beans, black lentils, orange lentils, green mung beans. So pretty much between my spice collection, my rice collection, and my bean collection, I can mix up a full protein. So beans aren't a full amino acid spectrum, but once you add either a corn to it or another carbohydrate like rice, you get the full protein. Now, the downfall of that, like Ed was saying, is it ups your carbs and your calories. So this is why sometimes when you look in the vegan community, you'll either see very sickly people because they're eating like Doritos, pizza, beer. They're not thinking about nutrition. They're just strictly vegan. Mm-hmm. Or you'll see very fat, plump vegans. And it's because they're also not knowing their nutrition and they're eating a ton of carbs because when they try to get their protein up, like, everything's got carbs in it.
Yeah.
So my workaround to that is like I made bread the other day from scratch, which is just whole wheat, organic wheat, water, extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of salt. And then I add vital wheat gluten, some extra. And vital wheat gluten is the protein of wheat.
Oh.
So it's also, because it's the sugar, it's what the yeast feeds out of. So my bread becomes with the yeast, gets very fluffy, whatever, and then has extra protein in it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And so just little tricks like that. And then even that, instead of using butter on it or whatever, I will dip it in olive oil, or I'll heat up a little olive oil in like, not fry bread, but pretty much put olive oil and coconut oil on this toasted bread. Now it's all whole ingredients pretty much. And where if you go to the store and you buy bread because you're vegan, you're getting all those chemicals, and you're getting, most of the time you're getting a GMO bread, which doesn't have the right calories in it and stuff.
Or it might not even be real wheat.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about why I think so many people are having success with carnivore, because I'm not an emotional vegan, as you can tell. Like, I do it for ethical reasons mostly. The health benefits are secondary. But one of the reasons I think that keto and carnivore is getting so much positive energy right now is that our plants, the way that they're processed, are dead. The soil is destroyed. It's not actually getting the full nutrients that it has because the crops aren't rotated well. So if you were to actually grow plants, if you've had a tomato from your garden, or versus a tomato from the store, one is like smushy and full of like juices and falling apart like a fruit, and full of flavor and vitamins and really good for your prostate. And then the one at the store is like sandy and white on the inside. Or if you grow a strawberry at your house, it's red all the way through and it's juicy, and it like and then you get a cut of strawberry open at the store and it's white inside and it's empty. And so the food that we're getting, fed to us is not full of the nutrients that normal plants do. So I don't know if this is true, and I don't know what it would look like. But currently, when they say we're not getting B12, we're not getting this from plants, I'm like, well, based on the way that we're eating agriculture now, we don't. But I would be interested to see what that homeschool kid on a farm that grows his own plant, like whatever, if they were vegan, and we went through to see, because they have like vegan kids on farms that the gut bacteria in their stomach is making the missing amino acids for the proteins, because it's an ecosystem. And they just discovered this. So like, oh, we're not all the same. We have different microbiology going on, which helps us survive. So I'd be really curious to see, like, the skin disorders, the high blood pressure and all this stuff, how much of it would disappear if the food wasn't so corrupted by the entities to control it right now. And it went like back into like a freer thing. Even like, everybody kind of knows that if you get a cow that's running around in a field eating grass naturally, that they feel better, the meat's better and stuff, than a cow that's getting hormones, being fed corn with holes in the side of it that they literally drill out and rip, because the stomachs of the cows are getting can't digest the food, so they have to actually reach into some of the stomachs, and they have these holes that they cover in the cows to keep them alive. I know it sounds Frankenstein, but like, and then you eat that, and it's like multiple cows. One of them could be sick, and it's all ground up, and you get one sick cow and multiple cows. It's not like the days of the old. People think, oh, when you eat a cow or eat a burger, it's from this one healthy cow, like the olden days. And so I'm going back in time, and I'm eating like a caveman or whatever. It's like, no, actually, you're eating maybe 50 cows.
Yeah, I believe
ground up and with poop or whatever could have got stuck in there, and then hormones that they're getting injected with. They're not healthy. They're not excreting everything from sweating while they run in the fields or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to go on a huge rant, but I do see why carnivores become a health conscious place, because the vegetables we eat are not affordable and are not full of the nutrients that they once were when they were actually considered a health food.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there was there's victory gardens back in the day. You know, you used to grow your own stuff. Yeah.
There is something I can add to that. Back, let's go 25,000 years ago, when you had people walking around the earth and hunting their food, they rarely had access to a bunch of fruits and vegetables on the daily like we do now. And so their main diet consisted of eating something that was walking, or eggs, or mostly that. And what was the growing season for? I think from what I've heard, the growing season was mostly a couple of months out of the year. So if you were in Florida type area and you want an orange, they would grow there. Or if you wanted this, it grew in this area. Now our agriculture has made it, and it's kind of a double-edged sword, where now we've got grocery stores that have all these vegetables in there. And so people have access to this, I call it crap, 24/7.
Oh, when I go into a grocery store, I'm like, there's like 5% of the stuff in here that I would eat. And regardless of being vegan or not, it's mostly junk food when you start reading labels and seeing like even the stuff that says protein now, and you say how many calories versus how much protein, it's like, oh, this is not even protein. They're just like this. Before they put the label on the outside that said protein, there was this much protein in this thing.
Yeah, it's just lip service at this point.
But sorry, go on, Ed.
But I mean, having tomatoes daily, having strawberries daily, grapes, oranges, watermelon, what's some of the higher ones? Peas, corn. Those are all the higher starch and higher potatoes. Yeah. Those are all the much higher carbohydrate ones. So along with the American diet, and people, when I was eating before I got diagnosed as a diabetic, I was stuffing away 1.5 pizzas. I could do that in one day. And then I still wanted to go to McDonald's later that night, and I wanted to have McDonald's. And then after that, I'd want to go out and go get a taco. So just it didn't work for me. And now I've learned to redo all that over the last 5 years, because now I can sit there and have a certain amount of food per day and maintain my weight for the most part. I'm not sitting there thinking, okay, when I'm going to go get this pizza, now I need to go get a cheeseburger, now I need to go get tacos, now I need to get French fries. That thought doesn't even cross my mind. I'm like, I don't give a shit that this stuff exists.
Yeah.
So the diet that I'm on, when you hear the words keto, the actual definition is meat and some veg, meaning kale, green beans, broccoli.
You're staying in ketosis so that your body is right on the brink of autophagy, so that you're like, when you're not eating and you're fasting, basically. And when people talk about fasting, they think about not eating for days, but pretty much anytime you stop eating, like when you're sleeping, you're fasting. And then if you're on the verge of autophagy, which is self-devouring, and from the Greek, basically you're in keto, you go and it starts immediately going in and burning the fat, getting rid of bad cells, cleaning up the body, which is why a lot of people that do carnivore and keto feel so much healthier, because a lot of dead cells that have been building up from the pizzas,
it all goes away. Yeah. And what was great about this is that, along with, I told you that my blood sugars all dropped pretty rapidly. My A1C went back and before when I was in the office, he sat there, he said, well, you have a 1,000 triglyceride count. And that's really, really the definition of bad count of your cholesterol. And so I said, will this ever come down? He gives me this medicines and something for cholesterol and a statin.
Oh.
It wasn't long till I got the hell off that, but he said, I don't think we'll ever get you back down to normal. Told you, in about a few months, dropped everything down. Everything was normal, and I was fine and on my way to recovery. So, and then to add insult to injury, my doctor, I walk in there and he's taking my numbers to see how successful I've been. He goes, well, I just need to start telling more people about keto. I've seen way too much success. My mouth drops open. I look at this motherfucker and I'm going, so you knew about this when I first came to see you? Yeah. And you didn't say anything? Oh, I was pissed. I had to go find it out on my own, but I was pissed.
I have a similar experience with my doctor who was very worried about me she was really worried about me switching over to veganism. And then like 3 years went by and I went to set an appointment with her and she wasn't available because she was on hiatus. And so Rhode Island was doing their Veg Fest, which my friend was running. So I went to go see her and congratulate her. And I go to one of the booths and it's my doctor. She's on hiatus because she's learning plant-based diets because it's better than the American health diet. So I did the Brian from Family Guy. I walk up and I was like, well. Because we had a good rapport, you know what I mean? Because she was a nice Korean lady. And she was like, yeah, the thing is, it's the thing that when they rate diets, right, and they say the healthiest to the least healthiest, if you just rank them by like strict thing, vegans at the top, Mediterranean, and then carnivore falls in. But then once you do E, so part of a diet is you actually people have to be able to do the diet. So once you say, can people actually do this? Then Mediterranean jumps to the top and carnivore moves up the list from like 11 to really high because carnivore is healthy and people can do it because it's like you're just eating meat. When you add in like all these extras of like counting calories, reading labels and stuff, most people can do it, but then they can't stick to it in their lifestyle.
Right.
So once you factor in reality to the data, the chart changes. And I think there's a lot of times where people get in fights with one another over things. I'm not one of those like super militant vegans that's fighting with people online all the time because like I've been anti-war since like 19, anti-war punk. I can't even get people from stop killing each other.
Yeah.
So like if we can work on that, then maybe I'll start talking to them about like animals and plant life and how we can have a healthier, more realistic, like even like the Native Americans had a connection, like you were saying earlier, in the cavemen, with what they were doing. They weren't like breeding these things in cages and then slaughtering them on a conveyor belt. You know what I mean? So there's something much different than like deer season started in Michigan and people they're like protecting their land and the environment from overpopulation. Like here in New England, we're going to have 10,000 plus deer die this year of starvation and that could have been hunted for food while they're breeding enslaved cows for food and then shipping them in from other countries and stuff for people to eat. Meat's literally dying all around us in the woods. And the people are like, we have scarcity, I can't get food. And it's like, well, no, there's actually a rule that doesn't allow you to get the food that's in the woods here. That might be healthier. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, so I put a link to it here. It's called Mother of the Mountain Farm.
Oh.
It's these two sisters that live in New Zealand. And I'm really fascinated with this channel, not just because they're beautiful and whatever, but they live off the land. And so like you were saying earlier about how like now you can get oranges year round, no matter where you live.
Right.
They don't live like that. So when the marigold tree blossomed, for instance, they were like, oh, we're super excited the marigolds to bloom. They're very delicious. And this is going to happen once a year. And we can't really preserve them very well. So they're very excited to have this. And like, oh, peach season's here. We're going to get the peaches. Now we're going to can the peaches. So this winter I can have some peaches. And we had like, oh, and they got 5 cans that have to last us the next peach season. So now when her and her sister sit down to dinner and they decide to open a can of peaches, and they eat those peaches, the flavor of those peaches and the gratitude that you put in, knowing that, okay, we only have 4 cans left until peach season again.
Right.
You know, for us, like you were saying, like I'll order a large 16-inch pizza and I will eat the whole thing to myself because I know I can get another pizza.
Yeah.
And you take it for granted. But when you work with the seasons and it's tomato season, I've canned these tomatoes, I have this much sauce until next tomato season, and I have to save these seeds that I have to dry out and these spices. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be self-sufficient. You could still have extra tomatoes and trade those with the butcher and trade those with the cobbler for money or currency. I'm not saying we should go back to olden days. I'm saying currently what it is you go to try to grow certain stuff in certain areas and a corporation nowhere around you says you can't grow that in your front yard. It's illegal. Right. And you're like, why? Why can't I? You know, here in New England, I don't eat eggs. I would if I had my own chickens, but they were saying, oh, eggs are $10 a piece. And so I went up the street and it's like, oh, they're $3. What is it already? I don't get it. In the city, in New York City. And then I realized, oh, because I can just get them from my neighbor if I wanted to, because we do have neighbors with chickens. So we don't have egg scarcity here. So we're not feeling the egg crunch. The people, egg crunch, hey. We're feeling the government control of food, that we're dependent on the corporations and the government to give us these food. And they've betrayed us. You go into the store, like Ed was saying, it's all poison. Or not, you know, most of it's poison, most of it's not healthy for you, most of it's not balanced, it doesn't have the nutritional requirements that you need. And then when they tell you protein's important, they just say, okay, this has 3 grams of protein, put with protein on the outside. And then the average person doesn't know how to read a label or nutritional facts, so they just say, oh, this has protein. And they're buying, like I had bought oatmeal the other day. Oatmeal, it said protein on the front. I looked at the package, I looked over, it just has oats, and I was like, yeah, it just has the same amount of protein oats have always had in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I'll pick up vegetable stock and it'll say vegan on the outside. And you're like, yeah, that's what vegetables are. But they're just like people that hear these labels are just trusting and buying. Yeah.
My son buys that crap. He got an oatmeal that said, well, they added whey protein. That's how they're doing it.
Oh, okay.
And he gets these goofy chicken strips and nuggets in there, more whey protein. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, white meat does have more protein, but I keep telling him, I go, but it has almost no fat. Yeah. So I go, we need the fat from our animals, our eggs, our sources, and he's, it's higher calorie count. I said, do you have any idea that if you were to eat properly like a keto or carnivore person, getting all that fat, that you spend less time in between meals being hungry? I mean, I haven't eaten since 9:00 last night. And usually if I have 6 eggs during the daytime when I break that fast early, or 8 eggs, I can eat, or I can hold off eating for 7, 8, 9 hours. So it's just, he's still kind of doing what I would consider the American diet because he's attracted to the protein. He goes and lifts weights and does bodybuilding and all that, which is cool. But I'm like, you're just buying it because it says protein. You need to be eating protein that has fat and eat a little bit more protein, and you'll eat less in between meals, therefore less calories. Yeah. I can beat his argument. I just get tired of fighting with him. He's 19. Oh.
Yeah. Well, the feeling of hunger is your body releases ghrelin, for those listening or whatever. It's just it's basically your body sending the infrastructure to your stomach to get ready for food based on your typical time that you eat. And we think that we're hungry for food more often than we often are because our body doesn't know about food, right? It just knows about nutrients and macros and micronutrients. So if you eat 3 like burgers, for instance, from McDonald's, and it's basically paper in some whatever, and then bread with starches and whatever, and it's going to be very low on the nutritional thing. You're going to eat them, you're going to feel full because your stomach's going to expand. Yeah. But then once you start digesting, your body's like, no, we need this nutrient, this building block, and it's going to make you hungry again and ask for more. Mm-hmm. So this is a lot of time when you see poor people that are way overweight, it's because they're eating low nutritional valued foods,
Food.
and their bodies keep asking for nutrition, and they recognize it as I'm hungry, and then
Instead
they
of giving
keep
what it
eating.
actually needs.
Yeah, and so it's like no, like it's this ancient computer, like your monkey brain trying to talk to your lizard brain, saying, "Look, we need this, this, and this, but the way I'm going to tell you is you have a stomach pain."
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, I got to eat more Cheerios. I got to eat another bread sandwich. I got to eat whatever. And like, I'm full because it fills me up, and the ghrelin shuts off for a second. But as soon as it goes to process it, and then you didn't get any vitamins, it just makes you hungry again. So if you eat I will eat these bean salads, which is like cabbage, 2 or 3 beans, artichokes, sun-dried tomatoes, capers, cucumbers, tomatoes, and then I'll do hemp seeds with vinegar and a little maple syrup, and I grind that up in a blender, and it turns into this like very oily dressing, and I'll mix it all up, and I'll eat a tiny little salad of this, and I'm full, and I'm not hungry for like 3 or 4 hours. And so you're like, people like eat a salad and you have like lettuce with 1 tomato, and you're like, oh, this doesn't fill me up.
It. Yeah.
Or you haven't had any nutrients, any fibers. Yeah. So this is where, if you're very unhealthy and you don't have the time and you need to turn it around quickly, I do think that it's not morally superior, but it's definitely health consciously superior to the American diet. The average American diet is the carnivore diet. And the reason that, I would probably stay away from ground beef if I did it. I know it's cheap to get ground beef, but current ground beef most likely is not 1 cow. And if you can get cuts of meat, you're going to get one healthy animal, and you know what's in it. Nothing's been ground up.
I usually buy those roast from Walmart. I think it's $8.87 a pound here.
Yep.
And so I get 2.5 pounds for like $22, and I'm going, yep, there we go. There's my meal for the next couple of nights.
Yeah, it's going to get tough on people. I'm concerned about myself, but I'm concerned about others. And I do think, for me at least, the beans and rice, when you know how to do them with spices and mix and match, is a very inexpensive way to get a lot of food in for you that's healthy and does have some nutritional value to it. Because people are going to have to start rethinking about their diets too coming up as the inflation hits and the food restrictions go up. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. I know you guys preppers. I know we're 3 hours in, but
this is what happens when we actually have a good conversation.
This has been fantastic.
The last time we did this, I think it was show 3. We had a 3-hour conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So my grandmother would do prepping, and then my dad would kind of carry that on. And I don't want to give too much details, but we do have land that we can use that we can have cows, and we can have everything we need and be fine. And which is great. And they live in the part of the world where it has the absolute best soil. So
nice.
In a way, they are preppers. If they need to be, they'll be armed to the teeth when the fall of Western civilization comes, but hasn't happened yet.
I think it's crazy. Like, I know this is on camera and people think that I put it on camera to be like a tough guy or whatever, but like, I did need a place to like put that, because it's like always on me when I'm out of the house and I put it down or whatever. And just in New Hampshire, it's cool to have. Mm-hmm. And then I'm constantly moving like some of the ammo around, but it's like cereal box to me, here and in many parts of the world. It is crazy to me, as things get worse and violence increases, the amount of people that are scared to get a protection device for the house in protection ammo and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Because the police aren't coming to your house if shit hits the fan. Nope, they're going to be protecting they're going to be protecting the politicians, the rich, or if anything, when Detroit went through their downfall and they lost their government, the police was out stopping private security with the last of their funding. they had this private security company up there that was escorting people to work and stuff. And they used the rest of their budget to get the police over to stop the private security.
Oh my God.
Because, well, what was happening is the federal government wasn't stepping in with aid to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, well, we need that aid. So we want to stop the people from doing it themselves because we need the pain threshold to go high enough that we get bailed out.
Yeah.
And so people started realizing, oh, they don't have our best interest in mind. The politicians want to get paid, and they're just going to do whatever it takes for the politicians to get paid again.
Yeah, it almost sounds like kind of the events leading up to like RoboCop or whatever, where Omnicorp takes over. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
If you get a second, people, you can go to it's called Anarchy in Detroit. It's a 4-part series. It's probably like 12 or 15 years old now. The Reason TV put together, and it's basically Detroit doesn't have a government, and things start falling apart, and you think that everybody's going to start running in the streets, murdering one another. And I'm going to get teary-eyed because I love the free market. I'm a true capitalist.
Yeah.
No, a guy just got on his lawnmower and started mowing the grass for the kids to go to the playground in the neighborhood or whatever. And he started doing it every day. And then one day, another guy just showed up, and a third. And people just started doing it. And the guys didn't even talk to one another. They would just like tip their hat and do it. And then another group started putting together community gardens and making food for one another and teaching other how to do crops and soil or whatever. Then the private security force came in, and they started escorting people to work for $15 to and from work, and would walk the perimeter to make sure there wasn't any looters or whatever, and get people in and out. And so when shit hit the fan, people actually stepped up and helped one another.
Yeah.
They did try to hurt one another.
Wow.
So it's really cool. Yeah. It's called
really
Anarchy in Detroit. It's a 4 or 5 video series by Reason TV, probably a decade old now.
Okay.
But yeah, it was before Romney ran for president, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Anywho, while we were talking about diets and prepping, we saw Sweeze hop in the chat.
Yeah, American Sweetheart is here.
Yeah, the American Sweetheart. Yeah, he's just hyped up about Skankfest. He was really happy that you're on the show. Just watch Michael Hall win in the 3-legged boxing match and celebrating before Dad Meet and Skanks tonight. Capping it off with the goddamn comedy jam, then headed to the airport. Sadly, our boy Leighton lost, but didn't give up and gave a good fight. So Tiffany comes in. And then,
hey, Tiff.
Yeah. Hi, Tiffany. Welcome in. And then, who was against Leighton? And Sweeze is like, okay, Leighton, against the other loser of Skankfest, the fat Mexican dude who was going to kill himself. He didn't go the fast. The 3-legged boxing, Michael Hall was tied to a little Mexican, then was boxing some big Mexican and a smaller guy. Michael put the small guy out, so they brought out a stretcher. My goodness, what? Oh my gosh, what are we missing?
So I can tell you right now, I got a little bit of what's going on here. So we had Leighton on our show 2 weeks ago. He was the winner of the Biggest Loser Skankfest Award. But the other guy, the Mexican guy, kind of like not cheated, but was late, didn't show the stuff. Late should have won straight out, right? They decided to send both of them to Skankfest. But if they did go, they had to fight each other at Skankfest. So Leighton, that was on our show a couple weeks back, 3 weeks ago. We had Ray Kump this week. Last week we had Mike Harrington, who also fought yesterday and won against Jake. So shout out to Mike on a good fight. If you want to watch the fight, the link's in my bio. We'll put my Linktree below. It's $9.99 on Veep to watch Mike's fight. But they ended up having to fight one another at Skankfest, and it looks like the big Mexican guy with probably a lot of sadness and anger in his heart from what I saw in the video took out Leighton, which I'm sorry to hear, but at least they didn't have to kiss each other's penises, because one of the other deals was they were supposed to kiss their friend's penis on stage. So the fact that they got to fight one another is is pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as Sweeze saying the goddamn comedy jam, that's really cool. So at the end of every night at Skankfest, Josh Adam Myers, it goes up on stage and he has a live house band and they do cover songs, and then the comedians come up and do karaoke, but they do it like a real rock concert.
Oh, that's cool.
And different comedians come up every night. And so at the end of every night, everybody gets together. But on Sundays, which is the last day of the festival, everybody's there. You made new friends. You had this huge experience. It's this once a year thing with all the people. And you have this thing, and they're singing like, Old Ensign and like Friends and all this stuff. And it's a very emotional experience because you're pretty much saying goodbye to all your friends that you saw for, you're not going to see them till next year. And you just met all these comedians and rubbed shoulders with them because the comedians usually out in the crowd and signing autographs and talking to you. And then you get to unwind on the plane, and not that it's like depression, but you're going to be melancholy usually afterwards because you're so like emotionally high all week, and then it's over and you're just reflecting like, oh, this great event that just happened, I won't be able to go there for another year now.
No.
So it's like bittersweet, you know what I mean? So that's why he's probably hyped for the comedy jam, because it's like, it's so exciting. It's the last night and you get to say goodbye, but it's also, bittersweet.
Yeah.
I have my first year going to Skankfest, I had that experience, but I also drove for 35 days when I was on the road. And then when Vegas was over, I was driving back to New Hampshire to go home. And I had done cross country, saw my father's grave, met the guy at the church, went to the Badlands, camped out, went to whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I drove home. So they're all like, oh, we had this 3-day event and it's over. Mine was signifying the end of this whole 30-day month trip.
Oh yeah, the whole saga.
So I was getting super choked up in the crowd. And I was like, all right, no one looking at me. I'm not crying because of 3 days. I had this whole life-changing experience that I can't tell you about, but trust me, I'm not getting choked up. But it was signifying the end of my whole trip across the US for me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah, shout out to Sweeze. I'm sure he'll make some clips of this and put it out. And shout out to Tiffany. She'll be there Saturday, Tiff. We're going to have these guys on Cornfed on Saturday.
Yeah,
so
we're going to be here. We're going to be there. Yeah. Well, I suppose we better wrap this up. We're pretty close to 3 hours. I mean, I promised you, I was like, okay, all right, 90 minutes to 2 hours. But we had such a great time, and I hope you did too.
Yeah, definitely. Had fun, guys. Check it out.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And, I suppose we'll wrap it up real quick. Dave, thank you so much for coming on, especially like it's such short notice too. It's fantastic. And to get to know you, and then now like it's all downhill from here. Like, right. Like,
no, you guys are going to come on Saturday and you're going to meet all the fans. You're going to meet Dalton. You guys are going to have a blast.
Oh yes. And we're looking forward to that. And then, like I've always said, like, I think I've said this before was, open invite, just, feel free to, if there's like particular dates that you want to hop on, man, be our guest, come on in.
Yep.
I think eventually you'll get to meet Rick. Rick's a very interesting guy. I know Sweeze will probably want to be on the next time that you're on. So that'll be an extravaganza in itself.
Yeah,
and then
that'll be fun.
Yeah, and then we'll have a whole bunch of other guests lined up. I know we have quite a few lined up in the pipeline. So we're very exciting times here at Unfiltered. But I'm Tyler Anderson. The internet knows me as Tyler Liger. And then on the other side is Ed. And Ed's been a trooper the entire stream. Very proud of you, Ed.
Yeah, it was nice meeting everybody. I think we had some great discussions.
Yeah.
Link to everything will be down below. The 29th, I'll be on Civil and Revelry with Doug and Paul, so check that out over on Rumble.
Yes.
And I'll be on Cornfed with these guys this Saturday, so check them out then. And that's it. You guys follow me. You'll see me Saturday. If I get some other stuff I need to tell you about, but I'll talk about it on Saturday.
Fantastic.
Bring the keys.
Any other parting thoughts, Ed?
I said, bring the keys.
Bring the keys. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I'll bring my set of keys too. We'll just brain rot everybody. So fantastic. Well, until next time. Yeah, we'll
become an internet whore.
Yeah, we'll become internet whores. But fantastic. Y'all have a great start to the week, and we will see you soon. Cornfed Podcast this Saturday. Catch it. Oh! All righty, we'll see you. Have a great one.
Are we still live? Yeah. Oh no, don't say the N-word. Don't say it before you're awful.